Hi, so we're live. Welcome to our first episode for our new podcast called The Musing. Basically, where we actually talk about a lot of random stuff, but mostly anime, games, and like random subculture stuff, and any others off topics whenever there's anything that comes to mind. So today I have myself a special guest, also the April Rio champion Tempest. So hi Tempest, how are you?
Hi, feeling good.
Yeah. So how is it like? How's the circuit breaker doing for you, man?
Oh shit, dude! I love Circuit Breaker Live. Finally got to catch up with anime after so long.
Yeah, so yep, that's pretty much like the topic we're also gonna talk about today. So, previously like before we even had this show on, I actually like did a tweet, to like ask around what kind of topic do people want to know or are interested in about. So, unfortunately or fortunately, one of the the top picks was actually like to find out what was my favorite anime of all time. But that is like very broad, so I decided to just break them down into genres because different people have like different genre preferences as well. So that's where we are just gonna dive into it. I believe previously you also have asked for recommendations because I guess you were like dying from boredom during the circuit breaker, right?
Oh my god, everyone is dying from boredom.
Yeah, so one more month to go for us here in Singapore. Not sure about
McDonald's.
yeah, I'm not sure about everyone else for the rest of the world, but okay. So with that, right? Maybe Tempest, you can like just tell everyone like more about yourself, how you got into anime and things like that first, and then we can proceed into our little tier list discussion
Okay,
that we have later.
tier list. So I'm Tempest from Dawnbreakers. So my first anime I actually ever watched was I think okay if you don't count childhood anime like Beyblade in Singapore we have Kids Central right
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. Yeah, man, those were the times. I think proper one was Gundam Seed Destiny. Then I think after that, I told my mom I was a small kid. I wanted to buy like the Gundam, so I bought the Force and Power and stuff like that.
Okay.
Then I think I stopped watching anime for a damn long time until I think secondary school. That's like 10 years ago. I think the
Mm.
first anime I watched after that was I think it was Sword Art Online,
Whoa. Okay.
or was
That's
it?
that's
I can't remember. I was either Sword Art Online or Fairy Tail, something along those
okay.
lines.
Okay. So
It's like
actually, wait. How old are you, by
yeah.
the way?
Oh yeah, I'm 24 this year. Shit, in a few
24.
days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Early happy birthday to you as well. Since we're at it.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, for me, like I'm 32 already, so we almost have like a 10-year gap in between us. So I guess later on
Freaking
when
boomer.
yeah, I guess I'm considered boomer in that aspect. I actually started like watching anime in the very early days when BitTorrent was still a thing or MIRC was a thing. So I guess I started just after my O levels, so I was probably like 17 or 18. Like there's always that transition period where we are all waiting for our results before we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
actually
yeah,
fully
yeah. That's
say
what we all
what.
watch.
Yeah, then that's the period where we pretty much have like no life like what we are doing now in the circuit breaker where we have all the time in the world and we're just like trying to check out on new stuff or even old existing stuff. So I was pretty new to anime back then. So that was like a good time for me to actually go and catch up on all like so-called the older classics that people were kind of talking back then. So I guess back then the classics, things like Akira, things like that, Berserk, all the very gritty stuff. So anime has already gone through a lot of transitions through the years as well. So now the taste has changed quite a lot. Even I think some things aged quite well, some things didn't age quite well. So like for example, for your case, you did mention Sword Art Online, right? So for you, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So for you, maybe like Sword Art Online was that like the boom, like that
It's just,
shit
yeah, it's the
stuff, right?
same. Like when
Cause
you I was 17, 18, it was
yeah,
so online.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for me back then, the so-called the Sword Art Online equivalent that was I won't call it popular, but it was like almost the same kind of like genre, and you tackle the same kind of things. It was actually Dot Hack, but Dot Hack was too way ahead of its time because like
I actually know that.
yeah, like Dot Hack was like the period where we are still all on like DS, like what you call it? It's not DSL. What's that old connection called again? Where it's the phone, but I forgot the
Yeah,
name. Yeah,
dial up,
yeah, the
right?
dial up,
Yeah.
the dial ups and broadbands, right? So even like back then when you were playing the game on the PlayStation One, it feels like super surreal. It feels like I hope these things happen, but you have no idea how technology was going to advance like further into the year as well. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, okay. With that, we have our introduction. Anyway, only reason why we are having that long introduction is because I realized I kind of screwed up with some of the scenes. I forgot to add your camera in, so I was busy adding them in into the scenes. All right. So okay. So with that, so the difference between us is that we have about 8 years gap. So obviously I have about like a 10 years difference of anime way ahead of you, right? Because I started watching like 2000s, and for you I was probably like 2010, around that
Yeah,
age.
around there.
Like if
Yeah.
you're gonna play like anime music quiz, you're gonna be like the guy that picks like 2010 and at the head, right? Then I'll
Yeah.
be I'll be the guy that will spoil everything and pick 2000, and everybody will be like, what the heck? This is another Beyond Boomer song, and we don't know what the fuck it is. You hear audio playing at like some low like crappy audio quality because back then music quality wasn't that good, and then instantly you'll be like, this must be a Beyond kind of anime back in the early 2000s or 90s, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we've gone through a list amongst the two of us already. So we did had an Excel sheet where we actually fill in all of the shows that we kind of like. I would say it's the top pick. But maybe it's like the first thing that comes into our mind. Everything is pretty good, and I guess we also kind of like avoided picking like the super mainstream stuff, right? Like, you're gonna talk shonen, it will be like, oh, it's Dragon Ball, and then you're like, slice of life is gonna be like K-On, that kind of like very typical pick. So today we are actually not really gonna pick like the super mainstream stuff, cause like one of the reasons why we are sharing all these things is so that when people are like stuck at home and they're bored, they can kind of find stuff that is, I guess, like a so-called hidden treasure, so they can just go and check it out. Since we are all stuck at home now for the next one more month, and we have time for that. But maybe more and less depending on which part of the country you're from. But yeah, pretty much is it. So we have broken down to like a couple of genres, which we'll go through them a little bit in a while. So we have a couple of genres. So first will be like action and adventure, right? And then we have comedies, we have drama, we have the fantasy genre. We have the mecha and sci-fi genres, of course, music as well, mystery, psychological, romance, slice of life, supernatural, sports, and one special. I won't really call it a genre, but it's just movies in general, cause movies are not as a common thing as like compared to anime series. So I just decided to just make a movie segment so that we can at least recommend movies, and if people don't want to sit through like a long series sitting, they can still catch like a 1.5 hour, 2 hours kind of anime. Alright, so moving on, we'll just go into the first category. So, right, so first, actions and adventures, right? So, um, we're just gonna go through your picks first, cause I think it would be nice if like you give your choices first, and then after that from there I can like agree and disagree on certain parts, and then I just like throw certain boomer crap out so that so people will know that the earlier stuff are like the newer stuff, and then the later stuff are like slightly more to the boomer side. And if they really want to check out the boomer stuff, good. If not, then that's fine. Right. So okay, how about you review your first pick?
So my first pick actually it's not much.
It's
Okay,
not really.
there was
It's
sort
not
of an
really.
order.
Okay, it's not really in order.
Not really in
But, yeah,
order. Not really. Yeah.
but the
So my
first one you
first
can
pick was
mention.
actually Boku no
Mhm.
Hero Academia.
Right. Okay.
Cause I don't know, the story is honestly I know that okay I'm a shonen trash honestly. So the story is pretty okay, and the fight scenes are really good. I think what I enjoy most is like I think the characters, I guess. Even though they're kids, right? It's quite
Mhm.
annoying, but somehow yeah, it's just enjoyable. I don't know why.
Okay. For me, I feel it is one of the better shonen series for this current generation as well. It kind of reminds you of like X-Men if you're like watching the cartoons back in the in the earlier days, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
this is like Japanese X-Men. The
Yeah,
one,
yeah, yeah.
but I think the cool thing about like Boku no Hero Academia is that the characters are quite rooted in a way that they're pretty grounded. I would say they're like Watchmen level where they're just like fist fighting, but
Uh-huh.
all their powers have a setback. So there's always like a drawback when they are doing certain things,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It's like
Yeah.
there's yeah. There's no OP character.
Yeah, so although I do have certain gripe, like like usually they'll have like the training arc and then the tournament arc, and then things get more serious at back. And then when you realize like when things gets more serious and they so called train up, then that's where like the setbacks aren't as much of a setback anymore. You get what I mean? Because
I
they
get
already
it.
overcome that obstacle, right?
But then there's always a new hero, as a new one coming all along. That's
Yeah, and
why.
then the new villains will come in, and then you're like All Might was like the super top tier guy, right? So you're like thinking like, how the heck you're supposed to go and top this guy? Like, if he and I mean, okay, unfortunately we can't avoid spoilers. Because we are going to be rambling about this, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
but you get what I mean. Like if you gotta have someone at top that, then it's pretty hard to maintain the power balance. But other than like All Might, actually everyone else seems pretty okay. Like you can feel like the power difference is not very jarring. They just need to like fight smart in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I enjoy the most. Like they all fight smart, I guess. Especially the side characters, you know what I mean, like his classmates.
Oh yeah. Especially
They're all relevant at least. They're not like nobodies.
yeah. I mean, it's I guess that's like the thing about the shonen series also. They always try to implement like the side characters to be a little bit more like more impactful in a way, right? Like if you look at like
Yeah.
Naruto's and Bleach and whatnot, their side characters tend to have like certain flashing, so it's not so
I
bad.
never watched. I never watched Naruto or Bleach in my life.
The guys, now you know this guy.
I've only watched one long-running anime my entire life, and I think
I-
everyone knows what that is.
Okay, we'll probably come into that later. Although I know everyone in chat was probably screaming, and they will have probably thought that was your first pick when we are gonna mention like the first pick for this
I mean,
show.
yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So let's move along then. Second option. What's your second choice?
Oh shit! This one is the one that I make sure I insist I recommend to everyone. It's
Okay.
Bungo Stray Dogs or
Alright.
Bungo Stray Dogs.
Okay.
Bungo Gay Dogs. Okay, yeah, I'm kidding.
Alright. So you have to tell me more about this show because this is actually one of the show that I have never watched yet, and it's the one that always frustrates me because whenever I play like AMQ with the guys and the song comes out, I have no freaking idea what it is, and then everyone gets it correct except me because like I'm the boomer guy that doesn't know shit about this.
Okay, actually, so the premise is actually quite simple. They all have like, okay, not everyone. Some people have like some power or something. I think everyone is like named based on I think some literature character. Like I think like Chuya, Dazai, they're all famous. Not just Japanese, but every country is famous. They are authors. So anyway, that's not the point. I think it's just a simple story. Like it's like detective versus mafia. Then suddenly realize actually some are good guys, some bad guys. Then you don't know who's the good or bad guy. And then there's fights and I think it's just that the fights is really nice. The powers are all cool. Like they all have setbacks, and like the story is very well intertwined, and like the character development is so good. The character is what made me watch and enjoy this so much.
So like
I cannot emphasize.
the premise is like a very like mafia versus cop kind, like in Chinese it's like
Something like that.
仙道 kind of thing, and then you have
Yeah,
undercover
correct.
the next moment and things like that.
Correct. Yeah,
Alright.
it's exactly like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess maybe that's why, cause like we watch like this kind of Chinese stuff. Then it's like it's just that, but like
Yeah,
with
but
power.
Japanese power.
Yeah.
Is it a very long
And like
series though?
okay, honestly, no, it's only 3 seasons, 12 episodes each. I think it's manga adaptation.
Okay, that's not so bad.
I think it's just the characters is really cool.
Okay,
And there's 0 waifus in this.
oh, they're all men. Okay.
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly.
So the waifu person and
All right. Okay, speaking about all men, I guess we can go into your third option, your third choice as well that you're going to recommend. So what's that going to be?
it took me so long to finally watch this, but it's Jojo Part 2.
All right. Just to be sure.
Oh, man.
Okay, yeah, it's part 2.
Sorry, you're saying? Yeah, Part 2.
Okay. So any
To be
part
fair,
two
it's because I'm still halfway through.
Okay.
Sorry?
Okay, so you only like part 2 because like you haven't watched through like the rest. Part 2 is like the most interesting one up to now, like up to the point you're watching.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I actually
I'm actually
started
watching
Jojo,
halfway
right?
through Part 3.
Okay, so that's like the sequel of part 2, right? Cause like part 2.
Yeah.
So you're in the Egyptian arc right now, I guess.
Yeah. Chat say you put the wrong picture. That's Jotaro.
Part 3.
It should be Joseph.
Hey! Sorry, man. I'm sorry. Oh yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah, I'm not a huge JoJo fan. I just enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I guess if you're gonna recommend people watch JoJo, then you're just gonna like tell them to watch everything, right? Like, there's really no point in
dude,
watching like one part.
There's no
one
point
part.
recommending
Yeah.
JoJo. Everyone recommends it, so
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad you actually started watching it. So I was pretty late to be very honest. Like when I started watching JoJo, it was already like Stardust Crusader. I'm like, oh shit, Stardust Crusader is coming out, and a lot of people were saying that was like probably the best arc at that point of time. So I actually like went to binge watch every single episode of JoJo, just like catch up and just watch it. So yeah,
I get what you mean.
yeah, and of course the JoJo memes, right? Like you probably
Yeah, I
don't
feel left out. I don't watch.
you probably wouldn't appreciate JoJo memes until like you start watching it and then you start to catch on. If not, you
Yeah.
probably like don't understand. Cause I do have like colleagues, friends who basically like shit posters. They like to see memes and stuff like that. But when you throw them like the JoJo memes, they like totally don't get it at all. So
Oh my.
yeah.
Do you
So
work in anime industry?
nah, it's just like very normal ipanjin
Ah, I
we
see, I
call
see.
them. Yeah, but they know the other memes that are pretty common,
But not JoJo.
but just not the JoJo memes. Quite unfortunate. Alright, so that's pretty much like your three picks for action and adventure. So with that, I will
Yep.
go into mine. Okay. Alright, so my pick, action and adventure. This is pretty recent though. It's actually made in Abyss. So I'm not sure if you actually know about this title as well. It's very very recent. Like within maybe the last 4 years, maybe. Let me check.
I think so. It's on my watch list.
Oh, it's on
But
your watch list. Okay.
yeah, for sure. I heard it's really, really, really good.
Yeah, it's like to me like this was probably one of the best like um anime for its genre, like the whole adventure and action. Of course, like not as much action as like your shonen kind of action, but the whole like premise of the adventure is very nice. The world building is great. The art is
Mm.
great. The animation is nice as well, and wow, the OST is fantastic. Like for those on Twitch who were like just coming in early on, while waiting for the intermission, I was actually playing like some of the soundtracks from there. Until today, it's probably still one of my like favorite soundtrack. It's by an Australian called Kevin Packins, so go and check him out. He actually did quite a lot of couple of other OSTs later on as well. So the more recent anime that he did for soundtrack was Tower of God. So if you're watching Tower of God this current season, yeah, he's actually
Oh.
doing the soundtrack for Tower of God. Yeah, and of course, slightly before that was Tateyusha, so Legend of the Shield Heroes. So that was a pretty hot thing back then as well. So if you guys have not checked that, you can always check his stuff out. Check out the OST. Mm. Alright, so that's Main Beast. Let's move on. Yeah, I'm just trying not to like talk about spoilers and stuff also. Alright, next. Next one is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Okay, this
On
is
top of my watch list.
this this is something I highly recommend as well. To be very honest, I've already rewatched this series at least 3 times. And
Wow.
yeah, and it's actually like a full year running series, so I think there's like 50 plus episodes. Like not like I don't think it's just right at 52, like maybe just a little bit more, like 56 or something like that, but it's very good. And to be very honest, like even comparing to its predecessor, because there was like another Full Metal Alchemist anime way before that, and it actually topped it. So like I found the first Full Metal Alchemist to be like this good, and then Brotherhood came along and it became like this good. It's like a lot better. And it actually adapted from the manga, cause back then I guess the anime and the manga was like sort of running side by side, and then the anime ended, but the manga was still kind of ongoing. And then when the manga finally ended, for like so called the actual manga end, right? Then they decided to let's just redo like Full Metal Alchemist all over again, a remastered fashion, and like we tell the story true to the manga content. So yeah,
Yeah, I heard about
yeah,
this many times and it's everywhere and
yeah,
I
yeah.
still
You,
haven't
you
watched
should
it.
you should totally check it out.
Yeah, 50 episodes,
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah.
will definitely watch it.
Yeah, okay.
I've heard it's my kind of show,
Yeah,
so.
it is pretty long. I guess you can always watch it in like small batches. Although I would have to say the tempo of the show is quite high tempo in a way that I think for like the first 10 episodes or maybe like the first quarter, right? They skimmed through quite a lot of stuff because they had to consider the fact that people have watched through the first Full Metal Alchemist and they don't want to like repeat the story all over again. So they only like went through like the main key highlights. And you probably know about the meme
Ah,
about like the Nina dog thing. Yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, so all these things are like the things that skim through, and then later on, then they like branched out, and then they went into that other like story through the manga, which is very good. Both seasons, I mean both like the original and Brotherhood, their OP songs and ED songs are also great. Like the combination of OP ED are also very very nice, and I would really highly recommend it as well. Okay,
Sick. I have the OP in my playlist.
oh, is he?
I haven't watched it.
You're actually
Yeah.
listening to songs that you haven't checked out. Alright, so the next
Yeah.
one is I would have to say this is super boomer because like I watched this when I first picked up anime, maybe like 1 or 2 years into it. Okay, and the title is the Law of Ueki. That's the English title, but it's Ueki no Hokuso. So it's kind of like the you can go and Google it up, but it's like I'm not sure if you can actually call it a shonen series, cause but for me it was like a year-long series. It was pretty nice, and to me it was like shonen in a way, cause like there's the adventure and the action part of it, and the premise was very interesting. Cause so you have this main character, right, which is that guy in green, the guy in the green hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like this student, right, that suddenly got, I guess I would say he got randomly selected, but he kind of got selected to compete in a competition, and he was actually handpicked by gods. So in like their world, there's like a lot of gods. Like those fantasy setting, there's a lot of gods. They need to pick a candidate, and they beat the shit out of each other, and then the winner comes out on top. Maybe gets his like wish like granted and stuff like that, right? So it's that kind of premise. So he has this very trashy like ability, and when I say trashy ability, I literally mean trashy ability, because his ability is to turn garbage into trees.
What the hell?
Yeah, so his ability,
actual garbage.
yeah, so his ability is he'll pick like random garbage and trash, and then he can convert that into like a whole tree. So he can sprout a tree, like the whole log or like the trunk or whatever, and does like funky things with it, which is very cool, right? Cause like you have a like quote unquote like trashy ability, but it's like it's like the way he used it that he used it very creatively to like get himself out of tight spots and things like that, which I thought was pretty nice. Yeah, and also
Sounds cool, yeah.
it's actually
It's like a very old school kind of show then.
yeah, partially also cause like the voice actor for the main guy Ueki is actually the same like voice actor for Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist. So fun fact, in case people didn't know. Yeah. Okay. With that, yeah. So these are like I guess the 6 choices that we have picked for action and adventure. So if you guys are interested, do hit it up. Go and check it out, and do let us know what you think of it as well. Okay. Moving on to the next genre. I think this is like one of the genre that I think is the genre that I feel connects with you the most, cause I think this is the one that we talk about the most as well, and we realize that we have like, a lot of things in common with regards to this genre.
I mean, I guess it's my anime, but the one you put is different. But
Alright. Okay, so we're moving on into comedy, right? Alright, so comedy. So
okay, to be fair,
yeah,
I just picked the only 3 comedies I've ever watched.
yeah. I mean that's fine. It's fine. Like,
Yeah.
cause the fact that like you picked it and you still like bother mentioning it means I guess to a certain extent you actually find them nice and like funny and stuff. So that's yeah. Okay, so of course first one is the anime that
Quite
the comedy
obvious.
rather,
Yeah.
that most of us like. So
Actually, right, okay, so it's Konosuba, but fun fact, right? So I actually didn't know until I think play AMQ with I think people. Then I keep singing a song. I'm like, guys, is this show good? Everyone said yes, it's good, must watch. Cause I hate watching isekai. I really detest isekai.
oh okay.
So I was like, okay, how good can this be? I watched one episode. I watched 2. I laughed so hard that I watched non-stop. Until now, it's my favorite. Like really favorite.
I still think like by far it's like I wouldn't really call it like the golden standard of comedy, but it's really very well done, very well executed.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's like
I got pick on.
yeah, and that too, right? And the fact that they got Studio Dean, which is quite known for like sometimes doing very like subpar like bad animation. But they made the bad animation so bad that it became good. You get what I mean, right? Especially like for the comedy.
I get it.
Yeah. It's like it's really nice and very funny as well. And of course, Tempest here, he's the Damegami's
We both had the same
number one fan, right? Unfortunately, I'm not in the same camp
Wait,
as you because I'm in the Megumin camp. Are you in the
before I go
Megumin
for this,
camp?
right?
Huh? I'm the Megumin camp, you're the Aqua camp, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but okay, that's it. I don't think Aqua is that bad. Like when she's useful, she's really useful, but I guess like 70% of the time she's like quite a burden. But
She's trash actually.
yeah,
But yeah,
you like trashy characters.
I don't know why.
No, but it's funny. Like she's quite entertaining. I know people who just like purposely like trashy characters, not because like they aspire or they want to be one. It's just they just like to laugh at it and they just find it very entertaining that how dumb they are. Like sometimes you look at a dumb girl and you'll be like, oh, like I can't fault her for being dumb, but okay, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's move along to the next one. Next one is a pretty interesting choice by you, though.
The next one is actually, I think, I forgot how I found out about it. Oh, I mistook it for another anime, but I watched it anyway. It's Gamers. I don't know why. I thought it's about esports or some shit, but ended up just being like a random comedy. I'm like, what the hell is this? I
Oh
just laughed
man.
so hard. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, have you watched it? You have, right?
Yes, I have. Of course, I have. Gamers, right? If I got it right, you know that there's this Japanese anime shop called Gamers. So
Which
if
one?
there's like there's like different anime shops in Japan, right? There's like Tora
Uh huh.
Nohana, there's Ami Ami, there's Gamers, there's Softmap and stuff.
Uh huh.
So if I'm not wrong, that this Gamers anime was actually like to buy like that Gamers for, as in the anime shop, but I'm not sure like if I got that information correct though. Like I've been hearing it like going around, but I'm not sure if like
Wow.
it's just a coincidence or not. But anyway, back to the show itself. I guess it's actually pretty nice. Like, but the comedy revolves around a lot of like misunderstandings. It's just like this guy
Yeah,
sees a
exactly.
and then they misunderstand, and then then jealousy kicks in, and then they start doing retarded
Yeah.
stuff. And they are not being very honest with themselves, which makes the misunderstandings even worse.
It's so stupid, but you just want to watch it. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
yeah. Actually,
It's
like,
like
yeah, like, which was your favorite girl in the series for you?
it's the Grand Blue, the one that plays Grand Blue, that girl. I forgot it. The only one
Karen,
without yeah, yeah, correct.
Karen, right? The main girl. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same. It's the same. Seiyu for Jita as well. All right. Yeah, my favorite was Aguri, the pink hair girl. The
Oh, the
one.
Gyaru.
Yeah, I guess you can call her Gyaru. I don't know if she's really Gyaru.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, that was like
Yeah,
my
I get
favorite.
it.
All right, gamers.
She's quite funny also, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so Gramer's got
Uh,
a rare opinion as well. Okay, so the next one is something that both of us rave a lot, and we still follow this series till today. So you can tell us more about this.
I mean, I insist that everyone watch it. I tell all my friends whether they're weep or not to watch it because it's on Netflix now. It's Kaguya. I literally tell everyone I know to watch it. I put on Instagram and shit. Like, it's too funny, dude.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, this guy, his Discord nickname, he like changed it to like Watch Kaguya Sama now or something along that line as well. So
Well,
it's like he's telling the whole world to watch it.
yes. On
Yeah.
my Insta, I promote it also.
Yeah. Anyway, it's currently in season 2, so season 2 is like something that I was looking forward to a lot also. Considering that they are going to like develop more character development, especially with the side character, hopefully, which I do think so since you're already almost approaching.
Our side character.
Yeah, that side character. Yeah, but overall, like Kaguya was a okay. To be fair, when I first watched Kaguya, and when I watched the first 2-3 episodes, I wasn't very impressed because the jokes were very repetitive. Like they kept revolving around the whole like, oh, I am trying to scam you, you're trying to scam me. I'm just trying to force you to say that you like me. But you know that both characters actually they haven't really like are into
I
each
roughly
other.
recall, yeah.
Yeah, right. So the start was like pretty rocky and it was very repetitive, but then it kind of like got better like midway towards the end. When the characters are more expressed
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
realize the true feelings and things like that. Then it got a lot more
Yeah,
interesting.
bro.
Yeah. Of
I
course.
actually have like an interesting backstory. Yeah, saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
So like I think okay, so I first joined I basically started being a weep after I joined DB. Cause there are weeps everywhere.
I mean, whoever
So
plays
like
these
I think
are weeps, so
yeah. No, so the thing was before Kaguya, I have never watched a non-action anime in my life. Not a single one.
Mhm.
I refuse to watch any non-action. So I think someone in DB who left the team already, he recommended, he insisted. Back then his nickname was Read Kaguya-sama.
Oh, okay.
So he told me I would enjoy it. I watched it. I was like, holy shit. From then on, I started binging every slice of life and romance, manga, and anime.
Oh man, you fell into the rom-com trap, my bro.
It's the one at least one anime made me a weeb, so-called weeb.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you guys have not checked it out? It's on Netflix, so great opportunity to just watch everything as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, okay. Now, the comedies that I'm going to go through are also pretty boomer, but I guess some people who have watched them back then really actually agree that those were like the comedy for its time as well. So for me, this is the next option or choice that I went with, and it's actually Bakates. So I'm not sure if you heard of Bakates or have you at least watched it.
I watched a bit, yeah. I've tried
Yeah,
watching
so
it.
so
It's
for
so stupid, I give up.
yeah, to me, Bakates is like it was like comedy gold for its period of time. And the novel was fantastic as well. And when they actually did the whole arc of like the battle between the classes, like the whole Royal Rumble thing, it was fantastic. Yeah, and they actually had 2 seasons. So back then it was pretty nice. Like I was like heavily playing like trading card games in general, and it was also quite pleasing to see like even series like Bakates actually like got picked up by Bushiroad in like certain trading card games as well. So
Wow.
yeah, so the interest was pretty good. Unfortunately, the anime kind of ended in season 2. I really had hoped that they had like continued to do more. Like even a movie would have been great. Let's to like hit the bigger arcs, but unfortunately they didn't continue. Yeah. That like as Jeff is saying also in chat. It's actually like the same author that did Grand Blue. So Grand Blue is like another great comedy for like the current era right now, which I also heavily enjoyed because it's like slapstick comedy in a way. It's not like it's not like Gamers. It's not like Kaguya that kind of comedy. It leans
Yeah,
more
just
it leans more to the Konosuba kind where it's like slapstick comedy.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I know Grand Blues. I think, yeah, I get what you mean saying Grand Blue and Bakates.
yeah
Similar kind of
it's
comedy.
just like bunch of idiots trying to be smart. Like
Yeah.
but you do have a smart guy, and then the smart guy manipulates the bunch of idiots, which is quite funny as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Next. Okay, this is quite recent. But I wouldn't say recent like within 5 years. Recent, it might have been older, and that show is Nichijo. So I'm not sure if you actually watched Nichijo. It was also like one of the best comedies I ever watched, and it was also done by KyoAni. KyoAni was also known as that unfortunate with that unfortunate incident with the fire like last year as well.
Yeah.
So KyoAni they were known back then for doing a lot of visual novel adaptations. So they did like basically all the key stuff, like Little Buster. No, not Little Buster. Sorry, like Air, Canon, Clannad, stuff like that. And then
Uh-huh.
later on, then they started to like branch out. So they started doing Nichijo, and Nichijo was great cause like back then there were comedies like Azumanga, which is they did it like in a very young coma, like 4 coma kind of segment. So every comedy is like a short skit. So Nichijo is like that, but it's actually very over the top. The animation is great and it's very funny. And for me, right, what was like the best part about Nichijo was they had this one particular skit. I'll call it a skit because it's like one part of the comedy of the whole, right? There was this silent film comedy, and you watched it as a silent film, right? There was no sound, it's just like no dialogue basically. It was
Uh-huh.
fucking funny, okay? It's like if I ever have a chance, I'll link it to you later. I think you should be able to find it somewhere.
Please do, like,
It's probably
it's
like
appearing on my YouTube all the time now.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
I'm binging the clips
Yeah,
actually.
it's like
It's so funny.
it's like can you imagine like comedy usually like it's already like it's something a comedy usually like have to leverage things on like visual sounds, all the jokes and stuff to like try and make people happy. But when you can actually do it in a I won't call it black and white, but you can do it silent and still make people laugh all the way, right? It's really like another level for me. Right.
I think I get what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'll link it to you.
I'll
And
watch it.
you'll probably get like
I'm watching anime ASAP after I finish my current one.
Okay.
It's too funny.
Okay. Alright, so okay, so we're off to the last show that I'm gonna pick to round off the selection, and not a lot of people might agree, but I actually felt like Panty and Stocking was like one of the better comedies as well. And why I actually picked this, in contrary like to the other two choices that I picked earlier, right? Panty and Stocking was so tailored to the American crowd. It felt like you were watching one of those Cartoon Network, Powerpuff Girl kind of
Yeah.
cartoons. Yeah, and
The animation especially, right?
correct.
Yeah.
And by far, I feel that Panty and Stocking, if you actually watch it in English, it's actually better than the Japanese one. Even though it's like it's like originally from Japan and they did it in Japanese, so but it's like one of the better ones that actually sounds damn great in English as well. So it's like you watch it once in Japanese, you get a kick out of it, right? And then you go and watch back in English again, right? You get the kick again, like for the second time, because when they do it in English, it's like a lot more crude. You know, like how the Japanese language is compared to like the English language, right? So so when you watch it in English, it's a lot more crude and it's a lot more funny as well.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's rare.
yeah. So if you have time and you want to check out comedies, I really feel like you should go and check out all these three options that I listed below.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely watch Nishijo.
Yeah.
Pagatas. I have 2 seasons in my com. I haven't finished watching
Oh
actually.
gosh. Okay. Yeah. Do catch up, man. Do catch up.
I will catch up, yeah.
This is not like the old boomer like passing like the old relic to the young one to like tell them to check out.
Yeah,
the
none of
old
these are boomer. Wow.
Now you know I'm like super booms. Alright, okay, so now with the funny side, the funny stuff aside, let's go a little bit more heavy, okay? Let's go into dramas. So I know
Oh, I,
I know drama is very vague. Like we usually like mix up like a lot of things into drama, like be it rom-com, be it like actual romance drama, even fantasy can sometimes even be drama. So when we're talking about drama here, we're just like I guess we're just slotting shows that we feel that suits the choice best, right?
I think it's that for me, I just pick anything that make me feel stuff. Do you get what I mean? Like you really,
Yeah, like you feel like I watch
yeah,
this,
yeah.
it
Your
feels like
heartstrings being tugged.
yeah, I get what you mean. Okay, right. So for your first choice, this is a pretty interesting choice, but I think maybe quite a lot of people might actually like this as well, especially Golden Time. So
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know why people hate on it. Actually, to be honest, I watched it. I binged the entire thing. It's like this rom-com is pretty solid. I mean, plot holes and all, but yeah, I didn't get why they hate. But okay, to be fair, I enjoy the main girl more than the other girl.
okay, yeah.
I know.
get
Yeah,
what you
unlike some uncultured people, I prefer
the
her.
main girl.
Yes.
I did try to watch it. The first time when I watched it, I actually like dropped it immediately. I think after like 2 episodes, cause when I compare it to like the other like romance drama that I watched in the past, right? To me, it just didn't cut it, right? So I dropped it. Then when it was only years later, people were still talking about it, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should give it a second chance. So I tried to give it a second chance.
Uh-huh.
And then I think I went halfway and then I couldn't take it anymore. so
Why,
I dropped it again. Like
Why,
the interest didn't sustain for some reason. Yeah, like
I think because at the start they already got together, right? Maybe that's why. Then it's like, what's the point
I
watching,
think,
right?
yeah, maybe there's that also. Like there's no courtship. There's
I
no,
get me.
like,
Yeah, I get
but
it.
to be fair, like the hardship comes in like because the guy has his amnesia problem and then he gets his flashback nonsense and he goes like, I don't want to lose the current identity of my so-called new self, and then
Yeah.
revert back to the old one and stuff like that. I guess this is like certain traumas that people do go through, right? So in a way, I guess it's rooted in a way. But for me, the only reason why like I even got to eventually like got to know the premise and the whole story, right, was I got lazy. I went to YouTube and someone actually like did a summary, like a whole summary of the show. So they actually just keep cutting snippets of all like the key highlights and then they like mash everything to summarize. And so like all the random like nonsense conversations that have in between, like that doesn't really constitute to the story. You can't just skip through. So I actually watched the summary, and then I'm go like, oh, hey, actually, when I look at it,
that's good enough.
when I look at it as a big picture, okay, I guess it's not too bad, but I feel like there's still better things. That's all.
I guess,
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next one.
Okay, next one. You can clearly see I don't watch non-action animes from the second one. So I picked Akame Ga Kill because my anime list says it's a drama. So
yeah, it's fine. I would have probably categorize it under more, I don't know, action or fantasy. But
it's more action, but I clearly don't watch you guys.
Yeah,
if you all wanted 3 animes, I only have like this
it's fine.
Golden Time. So
okay, so Akame, okay, maybe you can tell us more about this show as well. Like, what is it that draw you into it?
I don't know. I think because like the show is like when you watch, you see like a band, like the characters, then you enjoy the characters, right? Then it's like, oh, they're pretty nice. Then suddenly you realize, wait, what's happening? Like wait, it's like you feel cheated.
I
Yeah,
mean,
guys,
yeah,
at the start I said as long as it makes me feel it's a drama. Okay,
yeah.
shut up, listen to mine.
But
But
I guess
yeah,
the shock factor was quite there as well. Like like when people start dropping, literally, if you know what I mean, then
yes,
that was like the talking factor during that point of time also when it was airing back then. But okay,
yeah.
but I
I mean,
guess
yeah, I know it's not a drama, but you get what I
yeah.
mean.
But to be fair, to be very fair, because it didn't create a very good impression for me, right? So if you ask me like what happened in the show right now, I totally can't remember. Like I don't even remember like who the villains were or what were they fighting against. And all I remember was like dragon having sex with little girl at the end. That's about it.
Okay, honestly, out of the three anime I give you, right, I
Yeah,
would only recommend Golden Time because the other three is like okay, and the other one, but
yeah,
because
and
it's not much impact
yeah,
like you said, but it's just
yeah,
a filler. It's
yeah.
just
I
a
get
fill
what
up
you
the
mean.
gap. Yeah.
Speaking of the third one is something that I really loved back then as well. So let's go into it. So,
The one is quite a normie anime.
mhm,
Angel Beats. I
mhm.
mean, it's very simple. It makes you feel stuff. It's a really touching kind of show. So
It's a Q. Was it a
yeah,
Kyoani thing? I can't remember it was a Kyoani thing. I had a very huge impression it was a Kyoani thing,
was it? No, you're
but I
same as
don't think
Charlotte, right? So
yeah, you're staying in Charlotte. So but back then it's like when you see shows like this, you just instantly like stereotype it into the whole Kyoani thing because they were known for doing all the emo crap lah basically.
yeah,
Yeah, but this is actually by PA work. So PA work started picking up all the slightly more heavy feels. I'm gonna tug your heartstrings and I'm gonna make you emo for the rest
yeah.
of the week, kind of show. So back then, Angel Beats for me it was also like it was a pretty nice show. Uh, like I really like Kanade a lot. Like I know she was pretty deadpan at the start, but as and of course Yui as well, right? And then that's where Lisa kind of got popular because she did the cover songs, not really cover songs. She did the
Yeah,
songs for like Girls Demo, and
the
then
band, right?
yeah, and then
Yeah.
it just popped off, and then there she is where she is right now as well. Yeah. But the touching moments were really really, woof.
Really oof moment, yeah. I mean, I get it's like everyone watched it, but it's just if everyone watched it, because it's good, right? So
Yeah.
if you haven't watched it,
Like
just watch it.
I wouldn't feel embarrassed to actually recommend this. Like I totally agree with you. Like this is probably something like you actually recommend to people as well. And
Yeah,
okay, like for me, I mean there are a lot of dramas that I would recommend in recent times, but if I'm gonna recommend something, I'd rather like recommend something older that to how do I put it? Like to recommend the old stuff so that they don't die along with time because as the new generation starts coming in, they only check the newer stuff. They
yeah,
start to forget about the old stuff. So
yeah.
yeah.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, okay. So with that, I'm gonna go through with my picks. Unfortunately, I did kind of pick more than three, but I guess that's fine cause Akagami was Q was like a
Yes, thanks for helping me.
yeah. So I'm just gonna fill it in. All right. So one of the first pick. Okay, so this is also one of the animes that I actually picked up when I first started watching anime. I think I watched it like within like maybe in, like the first 6 months or like the first year of me like discovering the world of like MIRC and BitTorrent and started torrenting anime. So with that, there we go. It's actually Air. So Air, for me it was like one of the very like emo kind of like anime back then, and it was also like it was a visual novel by Key as well. So if you go and like Google it and check it out, right? It's pretty short. It's 12 episodes. To be very honest, if you're watching it for the first time, you might get lost and confused because it's not exactly they're not exactly very clear on like what's actually going on in terms of like storytelling. Because sometimes when like directors do storytelling, they can do it in a very chronological order, or they just like
Mm.
have a certain sequence and then you know what's going on. For this course, there's a lot of like unknown factors, things like like for this girl, she actually is like a reincarnate of like a certain character in the past, and then they just keep doing all the flashbacks, but you have like no freaking idea what it is until like you finished it. And then even then, it doesn't really like tell you much about it until like you start watching like the OVAs that comes after that, where they actually fill in the gap of what happens before that. But apart from that, the emo part is actually quite heavy. Like it was actually quite painful to watch the main character suffer in a way, and in a sense, I guess slowly 不见掉 like she GG, she
Yeah.
pretty much GG lah. Okay. Yeah.
I saw a read a synopsis. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So for me, one of my favorite characters in the was actually Potato, which is actually the cute dog in there. I tend to have this liking for cute animals. So yeah. So if you have chance, right, watch Air. But of course, I think maybe for you the other higher priorities are probably still gonna be the comedy stuff. Because this is kind of heavy. I wouldn't really recommend like even like newcomers to like pick this up right off the get go. For me, it was just something that came along, and then I'm like, okay, let's check this out. Oh shit, what did I got myself into? But I'm just gonna finish it anyway. Yeah, so Air is one of them. Okay, next one. This is pretty old as well. And I really felt that it was a very good drama. So it's actually called Honey and Clover. So you know, Honey Clover is something that not a lot of people will actually I guess the newer crowds won't really like watch and appreciate it because first off, the art style is quite shoujo-ish in a way. It's kind of like the Higashi no Eden kind of style. It's like Sangatsu no Lion kind of style. So it's kind of like that kind of art style. So this when I call it drama, right? It's really like drama, as in you can convert this into a live action, and you'll work just as fine. To me that's like drama.
Yeah, like that makes correct.
Right,
That makes
right,
sense
yeah.
also.
So Honey and Clover is pretty nice because like the drama doesn't revolve around one person. It's actually like a group of people, and then they do a lot of the deep character developments in between of them. So amongst the characters, you have the love triangles as always. Standard romance. They always have the love triangles, right? And then there will always be like the unrequited lover, and then there'll be okay. This is not common, but there'll always be sometimes you throw in this pairing where it's like so called like the forbidden love kind of thing, like the
Yeah.
guy.
You'll never get together.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we throw incest aside because that's like overdone, but maybe things like maybe young men try to go for like old widow whose husband is gone, because, something along that line. So it's pretty nice, like they actually like explored that, and I felt like the author who actually did it, like he probably did a lot of homework as well, like to actually go and convey like the feelings and everything in that particular perspective is actually pretty deep. So it's pretty nice drama. Like if you are quite a sucker for drama, like if you like your K drama, your J dramas, right? This is really something that I really feel like you should pick it up as well.
I think I have seen this on my manga recommended. I'm a manga person more than anime, so maybe I'll read.
Yeah. Like you can check out the manga. It's actually not bad. Alright.
Dude, if this was a drama manga, it's so easy.
Yeah. Okay, next one is pretty recent. They actually have a movie announced, but unfortunately because of COVID-19, I'm not sure if their movie sales are doing very good. But it's actually Shirobako. I'm not sure you actually heard about this. Shirobako, White
The
Books.
anime making anime, right?
Yes, correct. That's the one. So for me,
Yeah.
this was also a very nice one because like being a big anime fan, right? Like to be able to actually finally watch something that actually gives you insight about like the anime industry was something like quite an eye opener for me. Like back then, I would be like, okay, my impression of the animation company with that, you have a bunch of people, they just draw stuff, and then they put them together, and then they go animate it, and that's it, right? But no, oh shit, like when you watch Shirobako, you'll be like, what the fuck? They have like designated project managers for like specific episodes, So usually project manager manages the whole thing. Like, fuck no, man. This is like one project manager doing like maybe episode 1 and episode 6, So there's like a gap in between, and then they're like multitasking, and then you have some idiot that didn't do his job, and then and then it becomes a burden, and then it snowballs, and then like all the shit starts to get even worse. And it's actually quite nice for Shirobako because like it actually gave insight to like the real life anime industry as well. Like some of the stuff they parody, right, or they draw reference to certain animes, right, were actually like reflected inside. Okay, so like there was like this particular series in that show where they so called say like this show was a flop cause like the schedule was met, blah blah blah, and then it had to be cancelled like for the entire season, so the whole broadcasting opportunity was gone, and then they have to like fix the shit, and then they have to redo it, and then only to be able to broadcast it in like the subsequent season, when the TV stations like release the slots, and then they have to reslot it back. So that was actually like drawing reference to like an existing anime, not current time because it's already over, but in case you all didn't know, it was actually Girls and Panzer. Girls with the tanks. Yeah. So it was actually reference to that. And well, I mean, despite the flop, right? Girls and Puzzle, well, look at it now. Like, it's actually like it does have a very good following right now as well. So, like, despite the flop, I guess they managed to make things right, and I guess when you have like a strong IP, strong title, I guess this kind of setbacks doesn't really pull it back. I mean, it does to a certain extent, but you know, it's good to know that yeah, all these are the inner things that's happening. The other thing that I like about Shirobako is that um like um like Honey and Clover, right? The characters are they develop the characters quite individually as well. And because it's like a bunch of girls who used to be like from an anime club back in high school who were trying to make anime, and then you know they go out into the real world, they go into the anime industry like yeah, I can make anime, and then they go into the company like fuck, this is not what I thought it would be, you know, like oh shit is real man, like oh shit, all the OT, all the overwork, all the
Yeah.
rubbish that you need to deal with. So it was quite nice to see, and then of course towards the end there was that very touching reunion moment where actually like all the members in the club were able to like partake into like one project together. Cause I guess like a little bit of spoilers, but you know like different girls have their own roles. So you have the animator, you have the project management and stuff like that. The one that was actually struggling a lot was the Seiyu. And despite like Shirobako being like an anime about like the anime industry, it was quite nice that they touched a little bit on the Seiyu side and the struggles that they have to go through, you know, like the whole like I have to go for the audition, I have to go and try. Then even if like my body's quite screwed, but if I don't do it, then you know I might not even land a job, and then the opportunities go and things like that. So it was quite nice when towards the end, you know, they had that nice reunion, everyone gets together, and then they had like that little small like celebratory moment there. So it's actually quite a touching moment at that point of time. Like that was one of the teardrop moments for me also. Right, so next drama. This is quite a popular drama back then.
Very popular, yeah.
Yes, it was a big hoo-ha. I let me try to recall if I did cry my eyes out. I probably did, but okay. Anyway, it's Anohana. So, you know, like back then when it was in its prime, it was like everywhere. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone's just going Menma, and then of course the more lecherous people will go after Anaru, and then they'll make fun of her name. You know, like Anaru and Eno. Yeah, you know, and then there's the trap guy and yeah, all those stuff. So Anohana back then was also pretty good. Like I guess it was also one of the series that brought Aniplex, like the company that was behind it, also to fame, and then that's where Aniplex like started to do a lot more like bigger stuff, and then they are where they are today as well. The other thing about Anohana, I guess the most iconic thing has to be like the ending song, right? Like that freaking song was just being played all over the place.
Yeah, I think that
Secret
one's
Base.
popular.
Yeah, Secret Base was so popular. They actually necroed back the original band that did the song. They brought them back, did the song, and then did like a so-called 10 years after edition. Cause like they were disbanded for like almost a good decade, and then they like put everyone back just to like do a cover for like so-called the like I guess a remake version of the song in the after 10 years version kind of thing. So it was quite interesting. You know, it's like it's like Spice Girl was popular, then you go and bring back Spice Girl just to like
Yeah, I get that.
they already
Sort of get,
Spice
yeah.
Moms, then you bring them back just to sing the song, you know, that kind of it feels like that kind of thing. Yeah. Alright, so enough of the heavy stuff, let's go into the more interesting stuff. So it's gonna be fantasy.
Everything else here is so non-heavy.
Yeah, I
After
think from
this.
this point here is like more either thought provoking or more exciting stuff really. Okay, so next is fantasy and magical, and speaking of fantasy and magical, yes, we know like what's coming up already. So come, go ahead, Tempest, give us your pick for
Dude,
your
Fairy Tail
favorite
is the best
fantasy.
anime of all time, guys. Nakama forever, dude. It's the best. Best anime. Dude, it's the only shonen I ever watched. I feel guilty watching it, but it's like, dude, the friendship is just so nice. Okay, honestly, my favorite song of all time, from a Jap song, is one of the Fairy Tail ending,
Mm-hmm.
like the latest one.
Do you remember the
I think
title?
it's by Miyuna. Yeah, Boku no Kimi no Lullaby
Okay.
by Miyuna. I don't know if you know Miyuna.
I can go and check that out in a bit.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, just the friendship thing is like it's so stupid. I feel so guilty, but yeah.
I'm actually quite surprised like Fairy Tail is like actually popular. Cause back when I started watching Fairy Tail, I'm like, oh, this is like
Generic.
this is quite generic. If I'm not wrong, it's the same artist that did Rave.
Yeah, it's the same.
Because Plu was in there, so I remember. So I loved
Mm.
Rave back then. I was sorely disappointed when they didn't finish up the anime because back then it was on AXN. If you actually know what AXN was.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like the shit for me. Like that was like the like the fantasy show that I was looking forward to. Cause it was so cool, right? Guy wielding swords, trying to collect them, different swords, different abilities, blah blah blah. And then Fairy Tail came along. I'm like, okay, pretty loud main character. Not the smartest guy, but he's...
I think the kind of like kids will enjoy. Maybe that's why it hit off well.
Yeah, it could be also like I mean
Yeah.
it's considered like a shonen series, right? And then
Yeah.
it's like struggling with like all the other big shonen titles back then as well. Correct? Like you're still competing with, I mean, back then Naruto was a thing, Bleach was a thing.
Yeah.
When Bleach didn't like went downhill yet, and things like that. So I also had a friend that was super into Fairy Tail. So every time when we when we see him, we were like, okay, this is the Fairy Tail guy. And then we play trading card games, right? And then he's always playing the Fairy Tail series. And then it came to a point where we just nickname him Fairy. Like we don't even call him by his name anymore. We just call him Fairy. And then I know the one thing that Fairy Tail fans hate the most is when you pronounce, no, even not pronounce, when you spell tail as Tale and not Tail. So that's because I'm guilty of that. Like Fairy Tail. Like you don't really go and like look at the title. You just keep hearing Fairy Tail. You type Fairy Tail.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't think this is what it is, right? And then you realize, oh, tail, like.
It's a tail, yeah.
Then I take a step back. I'm like, do fairies even have tail in the first place?
I mean, that's the premise of the show.
Yeah, I know.
Stop! Okay, so it's quite a stretch, but it's so stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like the guild system was pretty interesting though. Like they have the guilds, they are like one whole family. Then they go and like, I would say that they go and pick fights, but most of the time it feels like they're not picking fights. They're just defending against people who are trying to stir shit against them.
Yeah, it's like you and your buddies like just want to go out and have adventures. Like if you could you in their world, it's the kind of thing you want to do. That kind. Maybe that's why I enjoy it. I don't know.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Fairy Tail.
That aside, the next one is
next one I totally agree with you though.
Dude, I don't know why. Okay, honestly, this is Fate Zero. The franchise is quite it's everywhere. It's popular. But this Fate Zero, right? I watched UBW first, then Zero. Oh, Zero was so good, man. Holy crap. The characters were so much better. And the fight scenes were so good. Holy crap. Like, I'm not being biased with Fate. It's just, do you know what I mean? It's like,
I get what you mean. I totally get what you mean.
So good at this.
Okay, because if I'm not wrong, Unlimited Blade Works was not done by the same company that did Fate Zero. Or I could be wrong. I mean, depending which Unlimited Blade Works you're talking about though. If you're talking about like the shitty movie version, then no, it's not done by them. So I'm not sure.
Oh, not the movie version.
Yeah, okay, the movie version was terrible. The TV series, right?
Yeah, TV series.
I think cause okay, for me, like I love Fate Zero the most out of all the Fate franchise. In fact, I'll go as far as to say, right, to me the only Fate franchise that ever exists is only Fate Stay Night and Fate Zero. Nothing more. Like the rest are like they're non-existent, man. Like
yeah, I get me.
Yeah, like when I see FGO fans, I get very triggered because they'll be like, I'm a Fate fan. There's like throw all the random. A lot of random characters.
All the random characters.
Like, I swear, man. Someday you're going to see like Donald Trump. You're going to see Lee Kuan Yew. Anwar's going to be like your servers, man. One day when they run out of like milking it, right? They'll just pull the Southeast Asia card and just throw all those characters like, for all you know. Right.
Yeah,
so
but,
yeah.
I get it. There's too many characters, but this one is done so well. Like the characters is so you remember all of them because they go through every single character well, and you just know them well. Like, wow, it's so well done. I don't understand. Like my dad actually watches it, so that's to me is the golden standard enough. Really.
Oh, okay. Okay, if you ever have a chance, you should read the novel. Cause believe it or not, this it was actually not done by like the original creator. Fate Zero was actually done by a guy called Urobuchi Gen. which is also known for like doing series like Madoka Magica, Psychopaths, and things like that. So
Oh,
and of course he does like a lot of the older stuff like Saya no Uta, which I'm not sure you actually heard of, but these are the stuff that he did. So he's very very known for like doing this very dark and gritty stuff. Yeah, he's also nicknamed the Uro Butcher because shit happens in there that usually like you don't really expect. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so for me when I read the novel immediately when it first came out, even before the anime. So when I read the novel, I was already like, oh shit, this is so good. So I was really really looking forward to it when they were gonna animate it, and then they announced that
Huh.
Ufotable was gonna do it, and then I was like, oh shit, I lost my shits because like for me Ufotable is like the top standards for like
Mm,
animation right now because
mm.
prior to that they were like doing Kara no Kyokai, and Kara no Kyokai was like one of the Nasuverse things that I also loved about. So when they did everything there, and then Lisa came in, Kalafina came in, and it's like
Yeah,
Kajura
as
Yuki
a sport,
Kajura Yuki
yeah.
doing the OST. I'm like, holy shit, this is like all my favorite things all coming together as one. And it's a Fate franchise. I'm like, okay, I'm so sold. I was so sold. And then my favorite character was I mean, putting Kiritsugu aside, right? Actually my other character that I really like to follow was actually Waver. Like I mean despite him being like a bit like, the
Yeah,
weak
I
one.
think I know why. It's like at
Yeah.
the start, it's like I can't like this guy. This guy is so meh. After it's like, wow. And then those endings like, okay,
Yeah, I
shit,
think I
this
think I
guy
think the bromance with Ryder was so strong that you
so
just
so
started
good.
you
Yeah,
started to feel for it, to be very honest.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, and then of course Saber making her reappearance, so for me, yeah, Saber, Lolly Rin, Lolly Sakura. So like people who followed the original like Fate series will be like, yeah, all those characters are back. Let's just check it out again. Oh, okay, never mind. I guess
Yeah,
Saber doesn't really remember shit, but I guess that's fine because Saber is still Saber, right?
yeah. Everyone enjoys in the most iconic
Yeah,
character. Yeah,
and of course, the cool part was also like they brought it back in Gilgamesh, and Gilgamesh, even among the ladies, is like the hot stuff. I mean, even guys find him like to be the hot stuff. So
I know certain
yeah,
people that
everyone loves him.
enjoy Gilgamesh too much.
Yeah. All right. So that's quite an obvious pick as well for. Yeah, I guess you can classify
Mm,
that under fantasy, right? Magical. Yeah,
yeah,
more
sort
magical.
of.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be action adventure, but the other three I think
Yeah.
was more appropriate.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess the other thing I quite like about the Fate series is that the whole fusion between like science and magic. That was the other cool thing about it as well, right? Like you have the magic side from
Yeah.
Yutosakas and whatnot, but then you have the alchemy thing, which is technically not really magic in a way, like, but I guess not really scientific. Like there's this very cool fusion between it. But if you do have the chance, you can always check out like their other IPs like Tsukihime and Karano Kyokai, because that leans more into like the supernatural stuff already, like your spirits, your
I'll
vampires.
probably watch Karno Kyokai also eventually.
Yeah, if you
I
have the
heard
chance,
it's
you
pretty
should, man.
okay.
It's like seven part movie, so if you just
Yeah.
I think it's still shorter than like a TV series if you count the time total up together.
Mm.
Alright, next one is a quite a boomer series, but I'm quite glad that you actually picked it. So let's go along with that.
Yeah, it's Shakugan no Shana. Okay, partially because my favorite voice actress is inside.
Kugimiari, right?
Yeah, and I think of what I say like the kind where you watch when you're very young. I think I was like secondary school or JC. I can't remember. That was like 10 years ago. Yeah, so it's like oh shit, it's pretty cool. Then the romance is pretty nice. Like they're not. It's not very obvious, but the romance in an action once in a while it's like you watch action once in a while you just want like some slow romance character development.
Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
think yeah, it was alright. I mean, now you ask me to watch animations like eh, and the story sometimes are a bit like complicated. But I think in general, back then, like you had, you know what I mean? Like back
Yeah,
then,
yeah,
it
yeah,
was quite
yeah. I mean,
good
when we were
for
younger,
me.
our tastes were probably like a bit different from then also. Like I watched Shana when I was younger as well. The big draw for me is like back then the whole like I guess you can't really call it isekai, but the whole like the magic fantasy thing was not very common, and then the whole
Yeah,
idea, like then you come in, this girl dies, and then this other girl
yeah,
takes
yeah,
over the
yeah.
body, and it was pretty interesting. Then, of course, like you mentioned, Kugimiya Rie was like the forerunner of the show as well. So the Queen of
Mm.
Tsundere coming in, and back then I guess Seiyu Tats pretty much liked it. And okay, for me the biggest draw for Shakugan no Shana, right, was actually like the songs. Like I was a huge fan of IF Music. So IF Music, aka IF Sound, are like a company that produces like one of the few like
Mm.
good singers to me back then. You have
Uh-huh.
singers like Kotoko, Mami Kawada, Ekoshimamiya and stuff like that. But of course, eventually, like I guess the Mami Kawada Kotoko combo kind of stick. Like after that, a lot of shows it was just them as a combo. Like one will do the OP, the other will just do the ED. So I think it also
Like,
reflected.
Mami, who did she?
Mami Kawada.
Which one did she sing? Yeah, which one did she sing?
Mami Kawada did
Her
songs
name is
like
very familiar.
yeah, Mami Kawada did songs like Being, Hisoku no Sora, stuff like that. Then Kotoko did I think Kotoko did most of the endings.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Then the combo carry on into like Index, where Queen of Tsundere is around.
Oh, yeah,
right?
nice, I remember. Yeah, correct.
correct.
Yeah,
And then,
correct. Something
if
like,
I'm
yeah.
not wrong, I think Hayate no Gotoku as well. I could be wrong.
It's also her, I'm
you know,
sure.
it's like-
Because the same.
Yeah, you
know,
see like you like see the Shana face, the Index face, the
Yeah.
they just
Yeah.
like, change color palette. Then you're like, oh, this is a Kugimiya character for sure, for some weird reason.
I wanted to put Index here, but then the third season was too disappointing that I gave up.
Third season. Oh,
The third season Index. I think it's
the
the latest one.
the war basically, right?
Yeah, the war, because it was so messy, so like it's great. I was so disappointed.
I mean they did have like a very long break in between, right? So
Yeah.
I guess they were just think there's too many brain gaps and they didn't know how to like really go and continue.
Yeah.
This happens sometimes when like you discontinue a show and then you decide to just like bring it back from the dead and then you have no idea how to really continue it.
Yeah, I understand from them. It's like just I mean, you probably make money. People want to watch it, so just why not lah? Then
Yeah.
But too bad lah. You get what I mean?
Right, next. I think you only picked these three, so the rest are pretty much crap that I fill in again. And I guess people are just
Yeah.
looking forward to the crap I fill in. so let's go on. This one I think you're pretty much familiar with it. I'll be pretty shocked if you also didn't check it out. It's actually No Game No Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, No Game No Life was like, I guess you can consider it like fantasy magical as well, cause like the two Kyodais they got transported into so-called the game world, and then humans are called Humanity and stuff like that. So to me, No Game No Life was pretty good as well. Like it was good. The seiyuu work was great. The story was nice. The entertainment value was nice as well. And then of course came the movie, and then the movie was fantastic. And it's like one of the series where fans still today they are just screaming like, where the heck is season 2? Give me
Yeah,
like,
honestly, what
please
is
give me my season 2. Like why the hell are you waiting for? Like are you waiting like are you keeping
I
this?
don't understand. Like you make money, like as a business entrepreneur, like what? It's like obvious, right? Dude, like,
I'm not sure if like they're just waiting for the novel to finish and then they try and just wing it, or they're just keeping it as a trump card. Like certain, like
Yeah,
you
probably.
can just keep it as a trump card until like, oh man, I guess we can't hold on anymore. We need to kind of release this to save our ass. Let's release it now. That kind of thing. So maybe
I get what you mean.
it could be one of those titles. Who knows, right?
Or it could be some licenseship agreement, whatever. Like we never know, but
Yeah.
cannot be. They never thought about it. Like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
They never thought about.
Okay, so Nogela is quite simple, quite straightforward, so we will just move on with that.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is it's a title that I've never thought I would go and pick it up myself if it was maybe 3-4 years ago.
Interesting
Yeah,
title.
and it's actually Shingeki no Kyojin. Alright, so back then,
This. I thought something
yeah,
else.
it's
Okay.
Shingeki no Kyojin. Okay, so to me, Shingeki no Kyojin is like, it's great. Like, okay, to be fair, I didn't read the manga. I tried very hard to not read the manga because I didn't want to spoil myself the anime experience as well.
Yeah, I get me.
Yeah, of course, I do have like some idiotic friends that can't tell me spoilers on them. But then again, I'm not very affected by spoilers. Usually, I guess I can kind of like just brainwash myself to forget what was told to me after a while. Yeah, so to me, like, Kyojin was great. Like, the anime was great, right? Because if you go and look through all 3 seasons, or was it 4 already? I can't remember. I think it was 3 seasons. Like, you look at all 3 seasons, like, every season felt so different, right? Like, season 1 was the whole fantasy adventure, and then the world was unknown, and then that's where you do the world building and everything.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
Correct.
And then after that, you slowly proceed into like in-depth character development. Then you realize about all these Kyojin powers, and then next moment, wham! Like, what the fuck? Like, what's this political shit that we're dealing with now? Is this like some Gundam thing? Like, like the mecha's just there, aka.
Yeah, I get you.
And then you play politics all over, then and then after that, and then later on back into like the later seasons, then where shit started to get real. Then suddenly, like, I guess most politics were solved by then in a way, and then they start to go into like the real crux of like the background, what's all this mystery that's been going on. So to me,
Yeah.
like the evolution between seasons were great. Like that was the thing that really captured me, and it felt like every time when I watched the subsequent season, it felt like I was watching a very different show, right? Because the emphasis and the way it was directed was very very different. Yeah, so even like the OP songs and the ED song selections were like quite nice. I mean, yeah, the first two seasons were like your
Yeah.
standard national anthem kind of style of songs, right? But
You
then
know the okay, so you describe like the progression, right? The
Yeah,
season
yeah,
one
yeah, yeah.
character development, everything, world building, right?
Mm.
You know, I straight away thought of one thing. It feels exactly the same. It's like Tower of God. I'm not sure if you read the manhwa,
I didn't read the
but
manhwa,
like
but I've heard about it. I already watched like the current season, and I can kind of see
yeah,
where you're coming from as well.
yeah, it's gonna be something. It's exactly the same kind of style if they do
Yeah, correct.
go past season
Correct.
one.
Cause like
It's gonna be like world building.
yeah, correct.
Yeah.
The first one will be the world building. You don't know what the heck's going on. Like every character have this very tiny like motivation, which is
Correct.
just go up to the tower. But what was their real agenda, you don't know as well, and how the thing actually works, you have no idea. Yeah, so that was the case for me with Kyojin when I watch every season. Like it just slowly evolves. That's pretty cool.
I get what you mean.
Yeah. Yep. And of course the waifus in there are pretty nice as well. Yeah. Right. Next pick is pretty peculiar. Something that I personally enjoy, but I don't think like a lot of people enjoy it. Partially cause I think they can't get over like the animation style. So
I couldn't. I'm
Yeah.
one of
So
them,
next
but
one.
yeah.
Yeah. So next one is actually Houseki no Kuni. So for me, this was like one of the pretty cool like fantasy magical kind of like animation that I was very into. To me, like what drew me into it was like the animation style, like the whole like semi half 3D 2D thing. Like I didn't get over it like maybe the first few episodes, but later it got okay. And to me, like this show was super underrated. Like the world building was pretty interesting, and then the character development was pretty nice as well. Like you can see your main character, she used to be this like I guess like she was considered like one of the younger and the weaker like called gemstones among the rest. So she's like like whatever, I'm the young one, I just go do whatever the fuck I want, right? Then as the story starts to progress, she starts to get herself into like deep trouble, getting out of it, close shaves here and there. And then you can slowly see her character slowly evolve and transform. And it's quite cool because like she doesn't like just evolve and transform like in terms of characteristics, but of course physically as well. So like you actually see her morph and like slowly like grow and change into a different character. So I thought that was like a pretty nice progression. Of course, I didn't really read the manga, so for me like watching every episode of it was like a very big draw because like you just want to know more things about the world building and see them unravel. And I'm quite a big sucker for shows with like very good I wouldn't say very good world building, just like very unknown factors that you know that you kind of just want to find out more about that world because it doesn't really like follow the logic of our current world, right? So
I mean, it's the ideal fantasy
Yeah.
anime, right?
Yeah, so Houseki no Kuni is probably like one of the good picks that I'll recommend, and it's something quite recent. So that's that. Okay, the next fantasy magical, I guess you can call it magic. I guess you call it fantasy. But it's actually Spice and Wolf. I'm not sure you actually heard of Spice and Wolf.
I have.
You have, right? Yeah. In case you didn't know, there's actually a Spice and Wolf VR game right on Steam right now. But I'm not sure if it's on sales yet. But yeah, you can actually play Spice and Wolf VR game right now on the Steam. Right. So for me, Spice and Wolf was really nice because like I really like Horo as a character, and Lawrence was pretty interesting as well. And it was ironically like one of the anime, right, that actually taught me a bit of finance and economy. You get what I mean, right? Like they actually applied those things into the show, okay? And then of course I have friends who actually studied it, and they were telling me, these things like actually real life is applicable. Like, oh really? Oh like, oh shit, okay, I learned something. It was like one of those shows that I'm watching and I'm like I'm watching it for the cute wolf girl, but at the same time it's like I'm actually taking away something, I'm learning something from it. So I feel like that was for real like one of my favorite picks as well. I was quite infatuated with horror back then as well. I can't remember. I can't remember if. Oh yeah, and the joke was, Spice and Wolf, right, was like Code Geass season 3. Because they had the same seiyuu. Because the main guy is Fukuyama Ju, which is Lelouch. and then Horo is Amiko Mizu, which is also Shizu. Right, and then of course,
Oh,
I mean, I won't call it
yeah.
spoilers, but because it's a fucking long time ago. But you know, like Code Geass, they were like on the
Everyone wanted, yeah.
on the cart and everything, and then in Spice and
Yeah.
Wolf, it's like him on the cart. So that was the whole joke about like how Spice and Wolf was like the Code Geass sequel that
Yeah.
that threw all the mecha out of the window, and then they decided to just live like normal lives from there. Okay, last pick. It's also pretty recent, but I think I have to pick and put it here as well because I particularly quite enjoy this as well. So it's actually Jojo Senki. So I'm not sure if you watch Jojo Senki, but if you have watched Isekai Quartet, I assume you know what the heck Jojo Senki is. At
Yes.
least, right? Okay, so Jojo Senki is really nice. When I first watched it, I thought it was like, hey, it's gonna be some Isekai nonsense again. This guy die, and then he's just gonna get transported into another world, and then we're going to see the usual Isekai nonsense all over again. But that wasn't the case for this, right? Like, he died, he got reincarnated into a little girl, and then he somehow still retains memory, and then it's like imagine like you die and then you can start your life again, but you like have your like new game plus because you remember
Yeah.
everything from your previous life, and then you just like try to apply it.
Wait, he
Yeah.
died. It's a guy who died and became
A girl after that, yeah. He
girl,
yeah, he
Takaya,
got born
right?
into yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to me it was quite nice. Then of course I think the world was very cool because it's like the whole like World War I
Mm.
kind of setting, but of course like making it as a very boring like normal standard military warfare kind of thing. They actually implemented the magical aspect of it. And then of course they have the special squad lah, magical girls in the sense, or
Mm.
magical men because they actually have men in the squad flying around,
Mm.
shooting laser beams and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like then the movie came along, and the movie was great as well. Like I really can't wait for it to have like another subsequent season for it, which I do hope so. Considering that most of the Isekai Quartet series, most of them have sequels, right? Let me try.
Yeah, I mean, it could
Konosuba has
be.
seasons. Konosuba had sequels. Overlord has sequels.
Overlord has.
Yeah. Tateusha had sequels. Two Core I consider as a sequel.
That's about it, right?
What else is in Isekai Quartet?
The four,
Race
yeah, all
Zero.
four, yeah,
Race
correct.
Zero also is gonna have a sequel soon. So,
Coming out, yeah.
I guess Tanya might get a sequel soon, hopefully. Yeah, right. So with that, those are our picks for the fantasy and magical side. Okay, wow.
Wow, Bjorn, can I just interrupt for a while? I'm surprised there's like barely any boomer animes.
Yeah. To be very honest, like you must understand that the boomer shows back then and like now, the taste and the demographic is very different. Like even the way things are directed and shown now are very, very different. But I think when we go into like the other genres later on, right? That's where all the boomer shows will start to come out because those were
Okay, yeah.
things during its prime, right? Yeah. So next will be mecha and sci-fi. So I think there's a couple of boomer stuff that I threw in there because that was quite a thing back then. I mean, mecha has been there for as long as the whole super robot and Gundam thing has been around. So let's just
Mecha got me into anime, so
yeah. All right. All right. So Tempest's first choice for mecha and sci-fi pick. What would it be?
oh my god, everyone's gonna hate me. Okay, it's Guilty Crown.
All right. So
Okay. Okay. Honestly, okay. I think the best thing about this show is the soundtrack. That's all. Okay, same thing as Fairy Tail. I watched this when I was like 10 years ago. So same thing. It stuck with you. So it's like
yeah, I get what you mean. Like for me,
Yeah.
I'm like considered older crowd, right? So when Guilty Crown first came out, I watched the first few episodes. I'm like, okay, this is pretty nice. The soundtrack's good. The girl's hot. The animation's pretty nice. And then I tried to watch a bit, right? And then of course
yeah.
the plot wasn't that great, so it started going started going downhill.
It was the first few anime I watched. Like I was like,
Yeah.
shh, it's so cool back then.
Okay, back then
So
I think I might have shared this story a couple of times before, but back then I was still quite heavily like involved in the anime industry, as in like I was working somewhat related to the anime industry, so I'm actually dealing with all these things, right? Until today, it's still like a strange phenomenon to all of us. Like, how the heck is Guilty Crown so popular? Like, we try to break it down. We try to understand like how is this thing so popular, but no, like we couldn't understand why. But what the heck, the fans were just like, oh, take my money, man, take my money, and
no, it's because it's like I said, like people who just entered the anime at the point is like the first few like, oh, it's so cool. You get what I mean?
yeah, I guess
That's like the only reason I think of. Like, yeah, I have a lot of Inori. I have an Inori mouse pad, everything like that. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Then subsequently they had this other show called Beatless, which was kind of like the Inori clone, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe I can give it a shot, but I'm not gonna expect too much out of it as well.
Yeah.
Alright, so Guilty Crown, that's what was your pick. What's
Yeah.
the other one?
Okay, the other one I stand by is a very, very good sci-fi show. So, and my favorite Gundam show is I Am Blooded Orphans.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, so it's between this and Gundam 00. I didn't put two Gundam because there's too, too many Gundams.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
because IBO, it's a kind of show I feel like anyone can watch, whether like Gundam or not, because the plot is it's more political, and then the characters are all different from a typical Gundam show and stuff like that. So I don't know how, but it just feels very cool, and the fight scenes were really, really good. Yeah.
I think
I think it's the way the progression was done was something I enjoyed more than Double O.
Yeah, I
guess.
think cause like it's a very interesting take in a way that, because this is like a bunch of red tats that like they're like this bunch of like random people,
Yeah.
slave blah blah, that kind of like broke away from their I don't know, their slave owner or whatever, and then they
Yeah,
start their own,
yeah.
right? And then it's like how they try and like build up everything. Unfortunately,
Yeah, so it's like
it wasn't my
I mean,
pick.
yeah.
but I do agree
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Double O though. I really love Double O. Like I'll pick Double O over IBO any day.
I get why also.
Yeah.
Based on Gundam alone, Double O is still better. But if I want to ask people to watch, I think IBO is easier than Double O.
Easier to digest. Yeah, I would think
Than
so.
Double O.
Maybe,
Yeah, you get what I mean, right?
get
Compared to
what
the
you
other
mean. I get
Gundam.
what you mean.
It's most recent anyway.
Yeah, for me, I couldn't continue with IBO. It's like I couldn't stand the main character. Like Mikazuki was like, it's like a dead fish, He's just like, big bro, tell me what to do. Big bro, who do I kill next? Like he's mad like like when people like, ask you for, like when you ask for a command, like the way he asks is very scary, because like you'll be like, what's my next command, who am I supposed to take out next? But at the same time there's a bit of humanity in that person. But for Mikazuki it's like, bro, tell me
He's
who to kill next.
So like only one dimensional, right?
Yeah. Yes, tell me who kill next. I want to, let's move on. And then it gets even mind-boggling when we like have that two girls that fell in love with him, and then even when it's like
Yeah, I don't understand.
battered up and crippled, and they were still like,
Bro, if he
fine,
can get
but,
girls, why can't any of us?
yeah, so,
Okay, I'm kidding, but
yeah, so I'm like, what the heck? Okay. Yeah, okay, so enough of IBO. Let's move on to the next one.
the last one is pretty obvious.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I mean, I'll
it's
agree
Code
with you.
Geass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun fact, I watched Guilty Crown then Code Geass. So people told me Guilty Crown is budget Code Geass. I was like, why that? Okay, yeah. Guilty Crown sucks.
But to call Guilty Crown like budget Code Geass is quite an insult to Code Geass as well.
Yeah, but it's like trash budget.
Yeah.
The show is so enjoyable. It's like it's the first anime movie I watched in cinema, I think.
Oh yeah. It was the Code Geass movie, the Rebellion one.
No, the first was SAO, but okay, yeah, but fine second. Shit.
It's
But
okay.
yeah.
Okay, so what was the thing that you love about Code Geass?
Okay, normally I don't. Okay, I don't watch any mech shows except for Gundam. I don't watch Gurren Lagann. Yeah, don't hate me, but I don't watch because to me Gundam is the only mech show I will enjoy because of how it's so nice. So like I watch. Code Geass is more of like the story and the character than like the fights. Like the main character is so cool. So it's like, wow, and the story is really, really, really good. So yeah, that's pretty much I watch shows for story and character. So that's good enough for me.
Yeah, cause like to be fair, I'm not a very mecha person as well. Like I have a lot of friends who are like mecha tards, right? That's why they're so into the SRW Super Robot Wars kind of thing, and then they
I get
gaga
it.
over their mech stuff. And I'll be like, to be very honest, I like Code Geass not even because of the mechs. Like heck, even the nightmares are like like okay only. Like the mechs fights.
Yeah, the nightmares are so
right?
right?
Yeah, it's all more about like the warfare, the strategic stuff, and like the tactics that was applied. And Lelouch is such a cool character. Fukuyama Jun really did a very great job, like playing out his character as well. And of course for me, I love Sizi as well. Sizi over Karen.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
Same.
Pizza
Yes, finally again.
Pizza Girl. Yeah. So Code Geass was great. Like in fact, when they did the movie, like the whole wrap up, like to be very honest, I wasn't very impressed with the movie cause a lot of times has passed and it was very obvious that the way they directed the movie was to like cater the later generations of like consumers already. So it has a very, I won't call it the SAO formula-ish kind of formula, but it has that new consumer kind of like appeal to it rather than something to cater to the old one.
Yeah.
Alright, so Code Geass. Was there any other stuff that you put? I guess you put 3 for most,
I
right?
mean,
so the
I
other
will
fillers.
put Steins Gate instead of Guilty Crown, but Guilty Crown stuck with me more.
It's okay. Cause
But well,
I got that covered, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of which, I'll go through like a couple of my faves as well. These are pretty old stuff as well. In fact, the next one is pretty old. It's actually Full Metal Panic. So funny story. I actually started watching Full Metal Panic Fumofu first, which is actually the comedy. So I started with the comedy. I found it hilarious. Like if I had to pick like a good comedy back in like the earlier categories, right, I would have actually slotted Fumofu in. But since I'm going to mention it here, then I might as well just lump it everything here. So I started with Fumofu. It was hilarious as heck. Cause your main character is this like war orphan that like got picked up. So all he knows is about fighting and going to war and stuff, right? And then he's got assigned to bodyguard this girl called Chidori. So he goes to school with her, but of course he's like a war orphan and doesn't know like how society works and stuff. So he's doing a lot of retarded shit. Like he suspects that there's something in his shoe locker when a girl sends him a love letter, then he decides to like let me just be safe and detonate the the shoebox to verify. And then he'll blow up the letter, he'll piece the letter together, and then of course parts are missing, right? And then he'll decipher in a way like as if it's like some murderer's code, like his killer is out to get him or something like that. So he's a very jaded, paranoid guy because he's been spending too much time in the war. So that disjoint of like that character to like the real world, and then instead of him like having to bodyguard the girl, I think for most of the time the girl has to like watch out for him because he's doing all the retarded stuff in in school, and then like the Setokai has to like kind of cover its ass most of the time as well. Okay, I have a phone ringing in the background, but that's my brother, so I'm just gonna leave it there. Okay, so so Full Metal Panic, I really loved it. Like, it's one of the mecha that's not very over the top as well. Apart from like certain features, like how Double O has like the GN drives and stuff. So I guess in Full Metal Panic, there's also like the Lambda drive, which is kind of like I wouldn't call it equivalent, but it's like like just smart AI tech, and therefore the character is a bit more OP in that aspect. The story is actually pretty good. The novel was also very well received, and then they had two seasons. So season was not bad, right? Then the comedy came, and then season 2 came along, and then when I watched season 2, I'm like, wait a minute. In the novel, it's like a pair of male twins, as in for the villain. But when you watch the anime, it's like, why do they have boobs now? So I'm like,
did it do the trap treatment?
So somehow they gave like the two like twin male villains and turned them into female for some reason. But despite that, it was actually still not bad. It was actually pretty nice. Like they tried to stay true to the story, and then it just went out of the water for the longest period of time. And like, I can't even remember when Full Metal Panic season 2 ended. But when season 3 was announced, everybody lost their shit. Okay, so season 2 ended in 2005. Season 3, so-called Invisible Victory, which is season 3, came out in 2018. So fans had to wait for 13 long years before they had a sequel. But to be fair, the sequel really didn't disappoint. Like I really, really enjoyed the sequel, and I'm really hoping that they have a lot more of it to come. But it's just strange that why they had to drag out 13 years just to
It's like
just to
waiting for No
that.
Game No Life season
Yeah,
2.
but please don't make me wait 13 years for No Game No Life. Holy shit, I will be like in my mid-40s by then, man. Yeah, so with that, let's move on to the next one. Next one is actually a mecha series that surprisingly actually also like caught my attention because I'm not really a big mecha fan, right? Yeah, but next one is actually Eureka 7. So Eureka 7 was like a series that I really enjoyed as well. Like despite the mecha and all, right, but it really was a lot more emphasis on character development. Like you actually see Renton, the main guy, is this child, I idolize this bunch of like I don't really know what you call them, like skateboarders in a way, cause like they have max that do like those skyboarding kind of thing, so it was quite into them. And then he was a big fan of them, right? Then of course he somehow gets encountered with them, and then he sort of joins them, then only to realize like, oh shit, these guys are only skyboarding as their side job. They're like fucking bunch of like, they're like this bunch of mercenary group or something, you know. Then and then he was like, yeah. Then that's when he got into like the whole mecha shit, and then of course his fated meet with of course the main girl and all. So over the duration, you can see the character development is quite nice. I personally quite like the side characters. Like there was this guy called Holland. He's like so called the leader of the group, but was such an asshole. Like he was very much being an ass to the main character most of the time. But at the same time, it's like you can understand why he became an ass when you start to like go back to his backstory, and then you saw how like the shit he went through, and then he went jaded and stuff like that also. So it was actually quite nice. Eureka 7 subsequently also got a couple of movies which I unfortunately have not watched it. I wanted to watch the movie when it was out in the theaters, but I really didn't get the opportunity to. So hopefully I get to do that. Yeah, but back then it was also one of the few shows that they had a lot of like big singers to sing for their OPs and EDs. So Flo sang for it, Homemade Kazoku sang for it. Back then it was still like Hakali, Nagilis, all these bigger names that actually sang. So
Back then,
yeah, you know, like back then I guess anime like maybe had more budget. I don't know. Like you look at Bleach, right, and they had all the bigger names singing for them. You look at Naruto, you know, like all the shonen series. Full Metal Alchemist also had like what they had what's that, like had Luck and Cell and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
So like all the big names sing for them. So for E7 to actually have that budget to do that, I thought it was like okay. So I guess they were pretty serious in their shit. And back then Bones was the one that animated the show. So like in the early 2000s, like maybe now you think like Ufotable, KyoAni and whatnot are probably like the good animation companies, right? But back then it was like companies like Gonzo, Bones. I can't remember anything else out of those two for now, but it's pretty much like Gonzo and Bones back then. Yeah, so they were like so called the forefathers of like doing pretty nice and good animation as well. Yeah. And Seru FMA was mentioned earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do agree Booster Ranking is pretty good, but I didn't put it in the list because I have other. It didn't come out of the top of my head, rather. Okay, shit. Let me find my overlay. Okay, so the last one that I'm going to mention, which was something that I wanted to mention because it's sci-fi related, and which is Steins Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Steins Gate. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's
Storytelling is
funny,
great. Yeah.
I actually had to rewatch it, you know. Like I watched very long ago, I think up to episode 5 or 6. I was like, what the hell is happening? This is so boring. I dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried again, and I okay, wait, huh? It's like you know, we watch American dramas, K drama kind of show.
Yeah.
Then like it's like whatever they want to do in like time travel and shit, but anime does it way better because anime has animations.
Plus they got anime logic to back it up.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Anime
the best part.
physics and stuff. Yeah.
So it's a perfect anime for like anyone to watch, I feel.
Yeah. I like it cause like even the visual novel was pretty nice. I actually tried to play the visual novel back then. And Steins Gate is actually part of this so-called the science adventure series, by Nitro Plus, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's Nitro Plus. So prior to Steins Gate, they made other games like Chaos Head. So I'm not sure if you know what Chaos Head was, but it was like
Familiar.
it was like one of the first one. But of course later on they did other stuff like robotic notes and stuff like that. But for me, like the series that I really love among that science adventure series was still Steins Gate. Like it's very good. I really loved it. The time travel thing wasn't very jarring, and I like how they didn't do time travel. Instead, they do so-called the whole multiverse thing. Cause you know, like when you jump
Correct.
time,
It's easy to explain, and the logic is less flawed.
Yeah, so it's pretty nice. And then of course the whole slight reference, you know, like the IBM 5000 and whatnot to the real life thing and stuff like that. So I guess that was pretty cool in a way. And when we were playing the game, like even like the whole like interaction with the cell phone was pretty cool. So when I mean they didn't really do much in the anime, but like when you see the story like unfold, it was pretty nice as well. Of course, you have the tragic moments because you know Butcher being Butcher, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course my favorite character is Kurisu.
Yes, Tsundere is the best.
Yeah. But to be very honest, right, like apart from Kurisu, right, my other character that I actually really liked was shit, what was her name? The Baito Senshi girl. Suzuna?
Who?
Suzuna, was it? Was it her name? Suzuna?
Which one was it?
The Baito
Is it
girl. The part timer.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
okay, I
Suzuha,
don't know
Suzuha,
spoiler, but yeah,
not Suzuna,
yeah, correct,
Suzuha.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that was like my other favorite character, which thankfully like I guess I was lucky to kind of like started to like her more, cause after that the subsequent sequel they kind of like fleshed out her story a lot more as well, and she played actually a
Mm.
very important part of the story. Yeah. Alright, so with that, that was the mecha sci-fi selection. I guess not much boomer choices other than Full Metal Panic Eureka 7 perhaps.
Actually, I
Okay.
guess most of our choices are quite old if you think about it.
Yeah, Code Geass pretty old, but those were like shows that you watched when you first picked up anime. So time wise is about there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, about a decade ago. About there, yeah. Alright, so the next few categories, this is the weird category that you told me that you totally never watch at all.
I don't watch non-action much, so
Yeah, I get what you mean. So okay, next category
yeah.
is actually music. And because Tempest doesn't really watch much of it, I'm just going to skim through the choices and the title, and I guess I won't talk too much about it because you probably can't relate as well, right? Because it's a bit tough. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so music anime. So to me, like what categorizes music anime is not your typical K-on shit where it's just cute girls doing band stuff. Like even to me, like what Love Live Bondory, like fuck that. Like to me, like those are like
Oh.
not good music anime. It's just cute girls doing cute stuff. Come on,
Yeah,
let's be
I know.
honest
It's like
there.
it's not
Yeah.
really music.
Yeah, so screw those. Let's go for like the more real deal. So for me, first choice is has to be Hibike Euphonium. So it's actually anime about band, like school band. Yeah. So I mean standard. They always use music as a premise, but they will always focus a lot on like the character development, the individual growth, character relationship, and then how they so called try hard to achieve their goals and stuff like that. And then of course they go through the post traumas and stuff like that. So Hibike Euphonium was pretty popular. I actually went to Japan to like watch the movie back then as well.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
serious.
yeah, yeah. Like,
That
like,
was
like.
quite recent, right? Like last year because of the fire, right?
Uh, yeah, yeah. But
Was it last year?
it was last year. In fact, it was when I went to Rage in Japan, and then I met Krizom there as well. So Krizom and I actually went
Oh,
to
last year, yeah, yeah.
Krizom and I actually went to like watch the movie. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And anyway, interesting thing also like Krizom was quite okay with watching it. Like even though like he didn't have subtitles, but he actually watched it and he could take away most of the show. So that's really nice. Okay, the other music show that I would highly recommend is actually Nodame Cantabile. So I'm not sure if you've actually heard of that show as well, but there's actually live action drama of it. So if you have a chance and you kind of like drama, I think this is one of the show that you might want to check out. I call it it's technically a music anime, but it's only because like your main characters and the so-called industry and the thing that are revolving around are like because they are musicians. So like your
mm.
main guy is a conductor, and then your main girl is like this. I believe she was a pianist, violinist. I can't remember, but yeah, she's a pianist. But yeah, so drama being drama, I don't have to say so much also, cause you have to watch it to kind of like unravel. Cause if I say, then it's as good as I'm just
I
telling you
get
the
me.
full story. Right. So the other music show that I highly recommend is Sakamichi no Apollon. So this is like the jazz shit. Like if you didn't like jazz before, and after you check this out, you might actually get interested in it. Like they actually reference to a lot of like real life jazz stuff as well. So this is like one of the nicer series related to jazz. So you can see like I'm really going through like a lot of different genres. Like we have the school band, we have like the individual musicians, and then we have
Different
like
genres of
this.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the last one is super boomer. Like it's like super ultra boomer. Okay, so it's called Fumo Sagashite.
I actually heard of this.
You know what I
It's a
mean?
boomer.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is like ultra boomer show. This is back in like what 2002 2003. Right. So this is I mean even though like it's somewhat like a music show, but there's nothing really much involving music as in like instrument music, cause it's still more of like singing. So I guess you consider singers like aspiring. I wouldn't really say she's an idol lah. She's aspiring to be an idol, but she's just being like a aspiring singer. So I categorize this still under as music. Yeah. So the story is
Mm.
quite a tragic one as well, cause your main character is like this very sickly girl that's trying to become like a professional singer, right? And then of course she
Mm-hmm.
has this guy that she likes, and then she wants to try and like achieve her dreams, um, and then so that she can kind of like fulfill their dreams, and then she can confess to him and stuff like that. But the catch is that she actually has like some throat cancer. Okay, yeah, she has actually throat cancer, so actually it makes singing like freaking hard for her. Yeah, and then of course there was the option for her to actually like go under operation to remove the cancer, but because operations are like not 100%, right? So it was like you either do it and you recover, or you do it and then you lose your voice forever, and then your whole dream is like fucked. Right. Okay. Then of course apparently her lifespan wasn't very long, cause that's where they throw in like the so-called supernatural part where the fairy, I won't call it fairy godmother, but like this fairy guy just comes down and goes down. You're like, hey, actually, you know what? You don't have a lot of time left, man. Maybe a year or so.
It
So
sound like the Your Life in April.
yeah,
Similar.
like you don't really have much time, Then that's when she's like, okay, YOLO. Like this, like the actual definition of YOLO, like okay, I only have
Yeah.
1 year left, and it's like do it or make it or break it kind of thing. So it's quite nice. The series is freaking long though. I think it was a year-long series as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then the songs are actually pretty nice. The ending songs were actually all done by like the same artist, and she's the one that so-called like acts as the singing voice for like the main character as well. So if you got a chance, you can actually go and check out the songs. The songs are all very nice. But it's a very like late 90s, early 2000 kind of genre kind of song. So I'm not sure if people still appreciate it now.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
yeah. So I know there are people who are disappointed because I didn't mention certain music stuff, but you know,
No, but actually I get it why, because like these shows are not just music because of like K-On and stuff, but it's because they have a story, they have character and stuff, and
yeah,
music is just
yeah,
the way you bring out.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and these are the stuff that I feel like is more highly recommended, like especially like the older stuff like Full Moon, Nodame. Like
Mm.
I feel like if people don't check them out, eventually they might just get forgotten somehow. I
I
guess.
see, I see, yeah, I get
Yeah.
it.
Right. I guess we are just halfway there only, but the rest should be quite quick if
Oh.
we just skim it
Quite,
through.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so next is actually mystery and psychological. So I guess this is where all the more interesting stuff are going to come out, right? Because mystery and
Mm,
psychological is kind
yeah, I
of,
guess.
like people sometimes categorize horror into this category as well. Because I
This
guess
category is very weird, but
yeah,
if it's just some sort of mystery, I think it belongs here.
yeah. So like I guess the more recent stuff will be like Happy Sugar Life and stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like that belong here.
Yeah, but because we're trying to recommend stuff and not trying to like touch on the new stuff, so we're just gonna conveniently skip those. So Tempest, maybe you can tell us what's your first choice for.
So I'm going to
Mm.
recommend something that I spent my last 12, 24 hours watching, and that's Psychopaths.
Mm-hmm.
Like, holy crap. So it's because my favorite movie of all time, I don't know if you guys know, it's called Blade Runner. It's an English movie. So anyways, like those futuristic kind of movie with like, like detective and stuff like that. And you don't know who's human or not. But this is sort of similar. It's like how like they actually like, have so much deep stuff, like the society, that so much like real life issues, and like it's so pertinent in like this show, and they make it enjoyable to watch. And the mystery is so like, you want to know more about the world, you want to know more about the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap! I'm just so taken aback. And I'm gonna be, even though I say people say season 2 is bad, I heard, but I'm just gonna give it a shot because damn, the plot is deserving of mystery. It's
Mm-hmm.
not really psychological, but wow. I don't know if you watched it, but
I did, of course. In fact, I've watched
yeah,
up to like the
I
latest.
recommend everyone watch.
Yeah, like I'm not sure if you checked out like the latest season already, because like as the season goes on, they shift the character. They have a new generation.
I
And
heard,
stuff.
yeah, I heard
Yeah,
about
so
it. Yeah, I heard
so
about it.
the latest one was actually not too bad. It's actually quite interesting as well. So if you have a
It
chance
was
to
quite
watch it,
short, right? Eight
yeah, it's pretty
episodes,
short.
right? I
Yeah,
heard.
but each episode is
Yeah,
really long, like I think an hour or so.
yeah.
So they try to
I
go
think it's
for
something different from a typical anime, so that's why I probably enjoy it.
yeah.
It's something that I would spend, because I pick anime based on something that I would spend. I'm going to spend my 20 minutes watching one episode. It better be bloody good. So yeah,
Oh man,
Psychopaths.
I'm on the contrary. I'm the kind that I got time. Let's just watch whatever and just filter out. Oh boy.
Have to play Shadow Bar. Ah.
Yeah. Okay. Next is.
Yeah. Next one is I think, yeah, everyone's watched it already. It's Yakusoku no Neverland. Promised Neverland. Wow, this show was amazing. I watched it blind,
Mm-hmm.
and I was so taken aback also. Like, oh my god, the best part of it, I think, was like you don't know what's gonna happen next. And I think the music and the don't like it's very dark in the beginning, everything. It's like you feel so terrified, especially because they're all small kids, everything. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it just such an enjoyable show to watch.
Cause you put in themselves in their shoes, right? So like when you're having to deal like with creepy adults and you're pretty powerless and you can't do much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
makes
quite
you feel
sad.
like as if you're them somehow. I think the way I'm not very artistic, no, but it's like the way the show portrays everything, the characters. So, wow, it's so like grips, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so like I know
Yeah.
that there was a manga and all. So this was like one of the it's like one of the series that I tried to heavily avoid to not read the manga to spoil myself so that I
Mm,
can get to enjoy the anime experience as well.
mm.
And to be very honest, the moment I spoiled myself like a certain part of it, like, oh gosh, all the fun was gone, and then I just
I agree.
I just stopped
I'm
spoiling
obviously
myself.
I try so hard not to read also, but like I scrap. I want to know more. I want to know more. So I watch. And, oh my god, I meet so many like I meet a lot of people, new friends, new colleagues, and like the first thing they ask is, do you read anime? Do you watch anime? Do you read manga? I say I read Neverland. They say I love it too. I'm like wow. Yeah, dude, the manga story is wow.
Okay, let's move on to the
Yep.
next one. What's your
Yep.
next pick?
Uh,
That's an interesting choice though. You should go ahead and say it.
next one actually is a Blade of Tempest or Zetsu no Tempest, and no, it's not where I call.
Yeah,
It's not why I call
I was
Tempest.
about to ask you that question.
It's not. You
Tempest
watched it, right? Have you?
versus Tempest. To be honest, I think I did, but I can't remember because watched way too much stuff that I don't think I remember this anymore.
Yeah, I think it's just same thing. It's I don't know. It was so interesting. Like I watched one episode, I'll know more. I watched the second one, I need to know more. Then I was like, what the hell is going on? Then you just in the end you finish it like the whole thing that's quite well done, or or how do I put it? Like it's called one entire or links back all the way. If
Mm-hmm.
and then watch it. I don't spoil the show, but
Mm,
yeah, I would recommend this show. Is I don't know why not many people know about it. It's quite underrated. I feel.
mm.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
and no, that's not where I get my
from what I
name
know,
from.
this kind of like there's this slight reference to like Shakespeare's Tempest or something like that, right?
Yeah. The show does a lot of like references to Shakespeare's Tempest,
Mm.
a play I enjoy a lot. So, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I was more of
Also,
a
still not where I get my name from.
I was more of a 12th night person cause the whole like
Comedy.
cross dressing comedy thing was
Yeah.
pretty funny. Alright, literature guys. Okay, let's move to the next
Yeah.
one. I guess the next few are my picks then. Alright, so next mystery psychological thing, which is something I highly recommend. In fact, I think it's getting a new remake. So it's actually Higurashi no Nakukoro ni. So if you guys have not watched it, it's when the cicada cries. It was a very hot like mystery psychological show back in this time as well. Where Seven as mentioned, the game company that did it, was actually doing pretty good with the game. And after that, they spawned out the anime. And to me, like this was like one of the great like psychological shows back then as well. Cause like you don't know what's going on, you don't know what's the mystery behind like so-called the village they were in and the whole curse that was revolving around. Cause when you go through like the first few initial episodes, right, you're like, okay, like what's going on? Like people in this village have weird psycho tendencies. So you don't know if like it was like some sickness, some virus. Like how you go like look at Resident Evil
Mm.
4 and like that village have people with virus, but they are kind of conscious about it. Yeah, that's aggressive. So you thought it was something like that. Then of course later on, then you realize that there's actually more to that. And then of course the other jarring part about the show back then was that they did it in like arcs. So like the cool thing about Higurashi is that they split their arcs into question arcs and answer arcs. So question arc is
Mm.
like the thing where so called you just go through the motion, the shit happens, and then you'll be like, oh what the fuck. Okay, then the answer arc will be something like, oh they will actually like reveal like what actually happened, why is it like that, and then so in a way like you have your mystery and then you get your conclusion later, but you get it in like
Mm.
bits and pieces, and then after you try and piece everything together. So that was the cool thing about it. Okay, let's see what else. Next is Elfen Lied. This is Super Boomer.
I already know the opening. I don't know that show.
Okay, yeah, the opening songs, I guess is pretty well known in AMQ. Actually, I love the ED song even more. Okay, so Elfen Lied, to be very honest, right, till today, I'm not very sure of like what exactly is the show about. Like, all you know is like you have this character. She's like some special breed, right? And then she has horns, and then she has like special tentacle hands, invisible tentacle hands, which kind of reminds you of like what's that character in Red Zero? Petugis.
Mm.
So she has like the Petugis powers, you see. And then of course but because she's like he gone through like a lot of like scientific experiment and all the inhumanity and stuff like that. So typical character that gone through all these torture, she gets very jaded, and then she just wants to escape from like the captors, and then she will just ruthlessly kill whoever that gets into her way. Of course, after that, during her breakout, she actually suffered an amnesia. Cause she bumped her head lah, then that
Mm.
actually left her with like a split personality. And then after that, she stumbled upon like I guess 2 college kids, which kind of like decided to be helpful and take her into their care. So that's where where shit start to happen, cause like the whole government agency is chasing after her, trying to recall her back. Then of course,
Mm.
unfortunately, these 2 kids will like get involved as well, and then the alternate personality didn't help either, cause you switch back and forth every now and then she goes psycho, and then yeah, so it's quite an interesting series also. Very old classic. I will highly recommend it as well.
Probably will try it eventually.
Yeah, it's really one of the old
You
shows.
see
Like,
everywhere. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's quite early. Not super early though. I think it's like 03, 04.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
graphics look around there, the
yeah,
animation.
correct. Okay, so last one. I guess in a way it's like history psychological, but I'm going to recommend Higashi no Eden. So Higashi no Eden is also like one of my favorite picks, cause it's actually quite recent. Okay, maybe not very recent. Like 2009 is like a good 10 years ago already. but
Wow.
yeah, I just realized it's that long. But yeah, Higashi no Eden, pretty nice. It was done by Production IG, also one of the companies that does pretty nice animation. So for me, like when I first watched the show, right, it was it was very intriguing, and it was very interesting in a way that you have this main guy, and then
Mm.
okay, the story involves 2 characters, like the main guy and the main girl. So like you start off with the main girl, she's off on a trip, she goes to America, then she does like weird ritual stuff where she makes a wish at the White House. I don't know what kind of weird rumors they're spreading in Japan lah, but that's what she did when she go there. Then upon doing that, then she found like this naked man in the middle of nowhere, you see. And then it doesn't help that this guy that this guy is butt naked. He has amnesia, and then he thinks he's a terrorist because he has a gun with him. Right. Then after that,
Uh.
yeah, and then he actually has like a cell phone that actually has like a lot of money. So it's a bit like, was it Mirai Nikki or what, some other series where they also have the phone, then they can go and purchase whatever shit they want with the money, and they can do whatever. Could be C control, I can't remember, but basically it's that
I
kind
think
of,
it's yeah.
yeah, right. So somehow this girl like befriends this butt naked man, and then of course from there, then the whole like so-called death game involving like the whole money, the phone, and everything starts to happen as well. So it's quite cool cause like the guy doesn't know what the heck is going on. Then only of course later on you realize like actually the reason why he's even butt naked and he's like he lost his memory was also like, I guess it's not really a very big plot twist by then, but you kind of guess that he probably did it upon himself so that he doesn't get caught, or doesn't get, like if he gets caught he
Mm.
doesn't get like the information out of him and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
so the whole roller coaster ride was pretty nice. Then after that they had the movies as well, right? The sequels. I think they had a 2-part movie. So in all, like it was a pretty nice conclusion as well. Okay, that's pretty much it. I know that we have a lot of things that we didn't cover, but these are just like personal favorites. I can see chat.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
top 3 only.
chat,
So
chat, chat is like going like, oh, there's Shoka, there's Umineko. To me, Shoka wasn't very mystery. It was still okay. Umineko, to be very honest, the game was a lot better. I really wouldn't want to recommend the anime because the anime really disappointed the game. Yeah, so that was that. Okay, never mind. Let's move on to the next one. Next category is the one that we always gather in Discord, and then we'll kind of like shit post and make fun of people with waifu walls and stuff like that. So that's
yep.
that's an interesting thing. Like the both of us have this common hobby of like we love to poke fun of Krizom to make him suffer because his waifu is suffering while our waifu is having the ball of a great time. Alright, so into romance. So let's see what's the first choice that
My first choice is my favorite. anime of all time,
Mm-hmm.
Toradora.
All right.
So I think I tried to get DB to watch, I think get Momo to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
We watched the first episode. Second episode, I think we all was like, "Shit, why do we like this so much?" I think we just gave up watching the show together because
I think cause like the show is very old, so it was like for its time. It was like back in 2008, so
yeah,
it's pretty old. But I do agree like it's probably like one of the better romances as well. Cause like the whole development, these two main characters they started off like they were at loggerheads, right? They weren't really getting along
yeah,
well, but due to circumstances, they were like trying to egg each other on their respective love interests, and then after that things
mm,
got intertwined and messed up, and then they started falling for each other and stuff. Even like Toradora, the work itself, actually like won some awards as well. So the light novel after that, kind of got adapted. I guess they also had like spun off a couple of games as well. I mean, with like rom coms like this with couple of girls, I guess it's always easy to make like
eventually, yeah,
dating
visual
simulations
novel,
and
right?
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Romance, especially my favorite scene of all time or anime is like episode. I can't remember episode 19 or 20. I sent you a picture, right? I can't
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
which
yeah,
episode.
yeah, yeah. It's the Christmas
But yeah,
episode. The
yeah.
Christmas
Wow.
episode. Everyone remembers the Christmas episode.
The episode really does make me feel.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go to the next one.
Next one is it's a romance, sort of romance. It's a Bunny Girl Senpai.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a recent show.
Mm-hmm.
I think I call it romance because I enjoy the chemistry between the main two characters.
Mm.
Like it's a power couple thing. You just want to watch animes. Like most animes is just like take forever to get together, or the main character just is blind, things like that. But this one is like straight up like, Nada, here you go.
They bounce off each other pretty well, in fact.
Yeah, the chemistry is so perfect.
In fact,
Yeah,
I have friends, right, when they watch this show and they see that couple, right, they get very irritated because they're like, shit, fucking Ryachu, then the jealousy kicks in, like, shit,
yeah, I feel so jealous every
why
time.
do I have a good, loving girlfriend like that? Then we can, like, make fun and pander. I can be honest about I can make fun and, like, make dirty jokes, like, it's fine, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Like honestly, right, I wouldn't say she's like a waifu, but it's because of him and her. That's why it's like
It's
she's
the
so.
chemistry, right? Like,
Yeah, it really
I
is.
guess that's like the dream pairing, right? Where the guy can just be himself, and then the girl just like accepts him for who he is, instead of like having
Yeah,
to put out
exactly.
the false front. Oh, okay, the guy has to be cool. The guy has to
Yeah,
the guy
so
has to be pure and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So the movie
So
was great though. Like,
oh yeah, I really
yeah,
love the
yeah.
movie too.
So
Last year, right?
when
Yeah.
when I watched
This
the
year,
movie this year, this year.
last year, I can't remember. Yeah.
But for me, like, yeah, for me it was like the movie of the year when I watched it. Like, okay,
Oh
so
really?
that year there was a lot of good like romance movies, right? Like we had Bunny
Mm.
Girl as one, Saikano was the other one, and I
Mm.
had a very hard time like trying to top up like which was the better movie. Like to me, both felt equally as good. Yeah.
I think because when I
like
watched the movie,
thinking.
right, I read the light novel, so I like shit. I know what's gonna happen. I regretted. I should have spoiled myself.
Yeah, but those two
Yeah.
are so close with each other. Like that was like probably one of the years where you actually have like good movies lining up against each other.
Yeah.
And it's quite hard to pick. All right, what's the next? Speaking of the two movies, yeah.
Well, the next one is
yeah, it's quite obvious. So
Seikano.
yeah, Saikano.
Yeah. Is it romance? Actually, it's not much romance, right? In the
There is
series, I can't remember.
There is, of
So,
course.
oh yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But I did okay. So basically, I just don't know where to slot this under. But I slot it in romance
I mean,
because
it was either
I don't-
drama or romance, but I think romance is a lot more
Yeah.
fitting. Cause like, I mean, it's quite obvious that the three girls were trying to like win the guy's affection. They were obviously in
correct.
a race also, like in a war, right? And then of course,
Yeah.
fuck the spoilers, but yeah, you know the point where Utaha kind of like told Eriri that the moment you like sort of like sick yourself,
Oh shit! Yeah.
that's where
when
you
that happened.
close out all your routes, and then that's like you
Oh.
just GG yourself for real, but they have no choice
Yeah.
but to do it.
When
And
she
then they were-
cried, every cry was like shit.
yeah. Actually, the scene that really got to me was the one where Eriri was outside of the house with the Rinrikun, the main guy,
Uh-huh.
and then she was going to go back into the apartment, and then
Oh, the last.
she turned around and asked him, "So do you love me that many years back?" And then the guy was like, And then I'm like, we all knew the answer, but I don't know why they didn't work out. But yeah, which kind of like reminds me of like an interesting article that I read quite a long time ago. So there was this saying that actually in this lifetime you have actually have a lot of like so-called the chosen one for you at different points of time. It's just a matter of which was the one that sort of like suit into all the circumstances and
Oh,
all the thing
yeah, at
that
that point
sort
of
of
time.
smoother it out and go well. Yeah. So yeah, I guess so for him and her, it was just not the appropriate time. I guess maybe they have met later earlier. It might have been different.
It was a sad
Yeah,
timing,
it was
yeah.
quite sad. That was so heart wrenching for me. But okay, yeah,
Yeah.
heart wrenching is what we want in romance show. So yeah.
Yep, definitely.
All right. Next one for me. Did I get the sequence right? Okay, so next one. The next three choices are from me. It's also series that I feel like is either underrated or people don't really like have heard of it or checked it out. So the next one is actually EF. I'm not sure if actually people know about EF. So EF was originally a visual novel by a company called Minori. Back the anime was back out like in 2008, but of course the visual novel was out way before that, and the visual novel was actually pretty nice. If you're a big fan of Makoto Shinkai, he actually did
Mm-hmm.
the animation for the game. So if you watch the opening PV for like EF the game, and you see like the whole classic Shinkai style, the whole 360 panning, the clouds and stuff like that, all those were actually done by him. So, which is why I was a big fan of this series as well. Because Shinkai did the animation, the artist was by an artist called Naru Nanao, was also one of my favorite artists.
Mm.
And then the animation company was done by Shaft. So Shaft is very good and quirky when they are doing all the very interesting directions, minus hit tilts, but they always like to do like very interesting like storytelling and directions when they do their directing. So for me, this was like one of the highly recommended romance show that I would actually recommend. It actually involves like most romance usually like focus on one couple. For this series, you actually focus on three couples, three or four couples. I think three. So you actually like see the the relationship between all three. So as you go through the story, they will like slowly resolve one by one. Then of course, there's always like that main girl that is linked to the other two. So it's quite interesting lah. Like you have two couples which is of like the same generation, and then you have like the third couple which is quite disjointed cause like the guy is like freaking way like older and so is the girl. So it's like another generation older. You get what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah. Then the story somehow
I,
revolves around them cause they are somehow related or linked in one way or another. So it was really nice. Okay, so other than EF, the other recommendation is this one. Tsuki ga Kirei. So this is this is super underrated. Like I got like I think when I talk to like maybe out of 10 people, right? Like no
mm-hmm.
one will really go and recommend this show. Like Tsuki ga Kirei is really nice because it's for me I liked it because it's the juvenile romance kind of thing. Cause it's like
Mm.
two, I think they were middle school, like two middle schoolers. They try to experience a called love for the first time, and then they do the sweet stuff together lah. It's like when you're an old man,
Mm.
you're watching this, you'll be like, oh, it's like this seishun man, reminiscence of the past, blah blah blah. That's really nice. The main girl is actually also voiced by Kohara Konomi, which is also AKA the voice actress for Chika from Kaguya. So it's like yeah, but you hear her voicing here, right? And then you hear her voicing Chika. It's
Mm.
like you can see like in a way she's quite versatile. Like she actually can do either or. And to be fair, like actually out of like her Chika role, like if you listen to her like her radio dramas and stuff like that, she's actually
Mm-hmm.
quite a nice demure woman. So yeah. Right, and then of course the last one would be oh shit, this is also like one of my favorites. It's actually Akagami no Shirayuki Hime, aka the red hair Snow White. Yeah, so this was also
Oh.
yeah, it's pretty recent, 2015 if I'm not wrong or 2016. Yeah, so it's pretty nice. Like it's this girl, countryside girl, but she's unique cause of her red hair, and then she gets noticed by the prince. And then she was actually going to get forced to be a concubine of another prince, but of course the main guy sort of saves her lah. and then
Mm.
sort of like she feels very in depth with him, right? So she sort of like starts to work under him, and then she has like she's quite career woman one, like she's very into like the herbology and stuff. So with the opportunity to like go into the royal palace and like to work in the what you call that, the research on the ecology and stuff like that, for her it's like quite a big
Mm.
thing as well. So it's like in a way it's like although it's set out in a very like fantasy world where it's supposed to be like old minded and modern, right? But then you suddenly see this very modern minded career woman in the show. So it's like quite a refreshing take to it as well.
I think I'll read the manga. I just
Yeah.
checked it out.
Oh my god.
Even though it's shoujo, but it sounds really, really nice
It's
premise
actually
too.
pretty nice, like Bones animated it as well. And the anime is actually very short, it's like 12 episodes. But then again there's 2 seasons.
Uh,
Holy crap, been talking a lot.
yeah.
Okay.
Holy crap, it's 2 hours already.
Yeah, it's okay. We are almost done though. We're just like 4 more genres and we're good. Alright, next one, Slice of Life. Slice of Life is the one where cute girls do cute things. Or
My
what
least
people-
favorite genre, but
Or what people stereotype as, but it's okay. We'll just go through it.
Yep.
Okay, so first pick from
So-
Tempest.
my first one is Sakuraso Pet Nakanajo.
Mm.
And this show, honestly, it's a romance too, it's a drama too, but I think it's like just we see them do everyday stuff, in their high school life.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's like I don't enjoy stuff in life, but I think the way the show portrays it, I think the music was really nice. Oh, the coloring was very nice because it's an art show, right? Sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the story was also pretty interesting to a certain extent. I think I just enjoyed how you're seeing all of them just get together and have their own different storylines. They all have their own backstory, being fleshed out very well.
Personally, I would rank this under drama more than Slice of Life, but yeah, it's fine because I get
Yeah,
where you're
yeah.
coming from also. I quite like this series as well. Like the songs were nice. Like I think the whole development between like Mashiro as a character, as she slowly learns to
it was-
open up, and then you learn about her past, and then how she's quite a withdrawn person to begin with, but she only like opens up to the main guy. And then the main guy at the start also like not very interested in her, Then there was that other love interest. Then it's quite heart wrenching to see the other try hard,
Yeah.
not make it.
Then there was him being jealous of her. Everything is like, what?
Yes, correct. So it's quite real in a way. Like I can feel the characters.
Yeah, sort of.
Okay, next. What's your next?
Next. Oh my god, everyone is hating me for this. It's Umaru-chan. It's literally slice of life to me. And I actually I enjoy her character so much. I don't know why everyone hates it. But I watched her, I'm like, she's me but a girl. Holy crap.
No. Okay, to be fair, Umaru is a kind of girl you either love her or you hate her, and unfortunately,
Yeah.
I'm the one that hates her. I
Hates
can't.
her. Yeah, I can
cannot.
see, yeah.
I cannot.
Most people do.
I really cannot.
I actually enjoy watching the hell out of her do everything. Like everything she does, people hate, I love.
Like to be very honest, like, I much prefer like Ebina-chan or maybe like Kirie in the show.
Yeah, I get them. They're the more standard people like that. But
Yeah.
I think because this show is like purposely.
Yeah, it's like I get what you mean like. It's like the model student in the by day, and then you go back you're like
Yeah.
freaking slob. I can kind of understand that because like like I get that in back at home as well. Like I can see my dad.
Yeah, I
my,
see.
my
I
dad
can.
my dad's in the army, by the way. So like in the army it's like
Oh.
all prim and proper and like the model soldier, and he's like very strict and everything. And then when he goes home, he's like he's a freaking slob. He's like on the sofa watching TV, the TV watching, he's
Yeah.
sleeping, stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just I don't know why people find it hard to watch. Maybe because people hate her so much. But I think if it, like okay, I have to be fair, I watched it with my like brain turned off, and that's one like
Yeah, I guess
stupid,
that too, right?
funny
Like,
show. Yeah, it's a perfect for me.
yeah. Alright, next one. Next one.
Next one is a very feels good and wholesome anime. It's Kobayashi. Like actually no, it's because it's thanks to CB that I watched both Umaru and Kobayashi actually. If not for CB, I wouldn't watch it. Yeah,
Yeah,
because like it's so boring every day, so it doesn't want people do stuff.
yeah, I mean, Maid Dragon is pretty popular. Like, I think it's even on like the streaming platforms now, right? Like, I guess Netflix has it.
Yeah,
And like like even like the TV channels, I think like Any Plus is showing it and stuff like that. This show
Yeah.
is pretty nice. I actually liked it. Like every week, I just look forward to watching it, and then I feel like all like warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah. The more fuzzy feeling is so nice.
Like
Every time, like Kana, it's not be a lolly, but just Kana is just so.
he's just
How to
adorable.
say?
He's just a cute,
Yes,
cute.
adorable.
She's
Yeah,
just
it's
a cute
cute. Yeah.
daughter. Yeah, she's a cute daughter. I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind also.
The wholesome interactions between the characters are just too nice to watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so those are like kind of like your size of life of choice. Okay, now
Mm-hmm.
going for mine, right? The first one will be a very boomer one, I guess. So it's actually called Hidamari Sketch. So if you actually like watch Madoka Magica and stuff, yes, the art style is very familiar because it's by the same artist Aoki Ume. So Hidamari Sketch is a freaking long running series of slice of life. Okay, I've lost track of how many seasons there are. There's at least like 5, 6, 7 seasons of it, maybe. There's like Hidamari Sketch, there's 365, there's SP, there's Triple Star, Honeycomb. There's quite a lot. So it's like five seasons of it. But the nice thing about this slice of life is not just like cute girls do cute things, cause like as you watch through the season, right, they're actually like progressing
Mm.
and developing. So like you see the year ones join the school, they go into the dorm,
Mm.
and then you see the interaction with like the year ones, year twos, year threes, right? And then of course the subsequent
Mm.
seasons, the seniors will go to year three, the year ones go to year two, and then they have like their new batch of year ones that come in. Then the roster grows, right? And then you get
Mm.
more of the slice of life stuff. And then towards the end is like where the senpais kind of graduate and they themselves become the senpais. Yeah, so it's like quite heartwarming to watch also, because like you actually see them like the whole progression like between year one, two, and three, which is kind of similar to
Mm.
Hibike Euphonium also. If you're going to like watch that, it's also like the main girls came in as a year one. By season two, maybe they were year two, and after the movie, they were like approaching end of year two, and then now they're like going to year
Mm.
three.
I
Yeah,
get what
so
you mean.
so
Yeah.
that, so the whole progression is nice, which is why sometimes like even like when I watch other shows, like I guess the other kind of genre that has this kind of similar approach is like sports anime, right? Like the whole
Mm.
oh senpai's gonna graduate, we didn't win this shit. Then like fuck, we didn't win this shit, we disappoint senpai. Then then they become the senpais, then the new blood come in. So
Yeah.
it kind of has that formula in a way, yeah. So it's pretty nice, like. But anyway, this is like super long. There's like 5 seasons, so you should probably take your time to catch it if you have the chance.
Yeah. Slowly can watch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very boomer also, but I'm not sure like it's the kind of slice of life. This is a very old school kind of slice of life because it's very four koma style. It's like comic girls, that kind of very
Mm.
very scene by scene kind of style. Yeah. Okay, next one is working. So working is the other slice of life that I love a lot. Um, working was also pretty popular to a point where I actually enjoyed the like all the offline events that they were doing. So every now and then, even then, I will still like go back to YouTube to just watch like the working offline events where they actually like have fan meets and they like go on stage, then they do skits and stuff like that. It's pretty nice. So the interaction with all the characters are also very nice. Then after that, they of course had their other sequel in a way, but I didn't really enjoy the sequel as much because the first one was like I think it was way better. Like the interaction was nice, the guy's pretty lolicon in a way, but then the love interest, like the love interest was really interesting as well. Then of course, to be honest, like my favorite pairing in the show was actually like the side characters. It was between like Yachiro and Sato. But I'm not sure if you watch Working,
Mm.
but they're like the very side characters, and he's like the head chef and like maybe the head waitress kind of side
Mm.
interaction, not the main guy. But it was quite cool because like they still gave attention to everyone, and then they still like added more characters along the way also. And the comedy was pretty nice. Like you have the standard occasional slapstick comedy, where we have like the girl beat the shit out of the guy, but at the same time you also have like all the other lame comedies where they do all the cold jokes, all the puns and stuff like that. So it was quite a nice mix for me. Okay, last one. Slice of
I've
life.
watched these too.
Yes, cute girls do cute stuff.
'Cause
Yes.
literally.
Yeah. Okay. So minus the usual cute girls do cute stuff like KL and stuff, right? For me, like New Game was the the show that I really loved and I recommend also. I'm actually quite a big fan of the comics. I actually buy the mangas like whenever it's released as well. And partially because it's a game, it's about like cute girls doing cute stuff in the game company. I mean, in a way, when I watched this show back then, I was working in Bushi Road back then. So I was also like working in a game company. So it's like
Uh,
so sometimes it's very jarring. So me and my colleagues, right? Every time we get together during lunch, we'll watch new game. Then once we finish new game, we'll sigh. Like why our office don't have cute girls?
that's not a life you want,
Yeah,
right?
why don't have cute girls doing the cute things here? Then my friend will be like, oh, like maybe Alba is like that fat programmer there. Maybe you just imagine that fat programmer guy to be like the cute Alba that you like, and that would be cool. I'm like, fuck no, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
think that's why you probably relate this show a lot, right?
yeah, yeah. And
Probably.
anyway, my favorite character for the new game, right? Strangely, is actually not even like the main characters. Like I actually like the side character. This character called Yoon. So Yoon is like this this blonde.
Who's Yoon again?
Yoon is like the pigtail, the small pigtail girl.
Is it the superior? No.
No, no, no. It's Yoon is like the other. Yoon is the. Let me try to recall. What was Yoon's role? I think Yoon was the monster creator. I could be
Oh.
wrong though. I can't remember. I think Yoon was the monster creator. So every time they design games, right, then Yoon will be the
Mm.
one drawing the monsters. If I'm not wrong.
Mm.
Yeah, cause the other friend, the other dark skin friend, the Hajime, she's the one that does all the action stuff. Yeah, so I think Yoon was the one that draws the monsters. So that's quite cute. Like this like Lolita character. So she actually dresses like the Lolita characters and stuff like that also.
Yeah.
Yeah, then of course yeah lah, the Kansai band, then she's the 大姐 also. So it's like you see this like small girl but she actually 大姐 and then she had to take care of her siblings. Quite endearing. Yeah. Then there was a period of time I was quite a big fan of new game that I actually followed one of the animators on Twitter. And this animator, he just did fan art of new game like almost every few days. So he kept drawing like new game characters. So it's like unofficial official fan art kind of thing. When an animator like does the
Yeah.
animation too much, they just draw it to the point where it looks like the official material. Yeah. So until today I still follow that guy, man. Like every now and then he still posts it, and I like to share it on Discord every now and then as well.
Oh.
Mm. Okay, with that, Slice of Life is done. I know we obviously could have like mentioned a lot more, like more
There were
recent
way
stuff, right?
more we could. Yeah.
Right, like I don't know, like I guess Eurocamp is like one of the ones that I enjoyed in recent times as well. But I'm just not mentioning cause if you're gonna recommend it, we should just recommend something like further back so that people can check out, rather than like the obvious stuff that people could have probably easily Google. Alright, next one is the
Oh wow.
Super.
Meanwhile, my first supernatural is not even a recommendation. It's like, who doesn't know?
Alright, I did a typo, so I'm trying to fix that. But okay, anyway, the first one you can go ahead and mention. What is this?
Well, it's a supernatural genre. It's anime. And it's like, well, Kimetsu no Yaiba. I mean, you asked for a favorite,
Yeah,
and I know that there's a recency effect, but I don't know.
it's pretty good, right?
It's pretty good. If everyone watches it, it has to be good. So that's for me.
Yeah, Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Not much to say, right? I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean it's pretty nice. I tried to read the manga a little bit also. It did have the draw factor, but after that I decided to like not spoil myself a little bit too much, so I stopped reading it.
Uh,
So I just continued to watch the anime, and then of course UFO Table being UFO Table, they did a very fantastic job. In fact, I felt like they upped their game in terms of animation.
mm,
Like in the past, like maybe the battle stuff were like all in the movie, but in the recent years, like all the like movie equivalent like good quality stuff are like slowly appearing to their TV animation as well. So
yeah.
those are pretty nice to enjoy. Of course, Lisa doing the song, I love that song.
Oh, I love the song so much.
Apparently it's been the top charts for months already, and it's been looping like everywhere in the streets in Japan for months as well. Like when I was there last year, it was still playing.
Mm.
So
Not surprised. It's really, really catchy
yeah,
and
yeah, it's good.
nice. The
Right.
manga's really good, guys. It's finishing though.
Mm-hmm. Okay lah. I mean,
Yep. Next.
I'm glad it's finally having a closure soon though. Like I cannot
Yeah.
imagine it dragging. All right, next one.
It's Kyokai no Kanata. My Fuyaki. I forgot how to say it. I forgot how to say it.
Your
Fuyukai desu. Yeah. Fuyukai
desu.
desu. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I enjoyed the romance part more than the supernatural.
part, right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Like when I watched it, I also agree that I actually enjoyed like more of like the character development and the romance, not much of the supernatural. In fact, I remember like when the movie came along, I'm like, oh, this movie should have existed. I would have been so glad we just like stop at the series itself.
Yeah.
But that said, ending song Pepe Jam, man, it's still
Yeah,
like
yeah,
to me one of the
yeah.
best, like one of the best songs. I try to look up like for the artists to see if like they've done any more other songs, but I can't seem to find any. So I'm not sure if it's like a one shot thing. A bit disappointing though. Like the songs are pretty good.
It's a very soundtrack is all very nice. I
Yeah.
don't think they're popular, right? But it's
Nah.
just nice.
All right. Okay. Next Supernatural.
Next one is Noragami. It's I don't know. It's just simple show to me. Same. It was the first few I watched back then.
I'll be very honest. I only watched Noragami like this year, cause like
How about the song?
cause of this stupid song that keep appearing in AMQ and everyone keeps getting it, and then I keep mixing up like even though like I try to hard memorize the song to the seasons, I always cannot get it right. So I went to watch the show so that I can drill it into me. And then when I watch the show, I'm like, this show is like alright only. Like, but to be very honest, like the initial few episodes were pretty interesting. Like I remember when it debuted back in AFA in Singapore. Like I think they were showing like the
Mm-hmm.
first anime. The first episode like on the stage program before it was even officially out.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it and I was like, oh man, this is like pretty nice, pretty cool. But then like later towards in the season, it felt like they were just going around in circles. The thing wasn't really like developing. They were just like sticking onto like Bishamon rivalry. Then I'm like,
Yeah, the first season wasn't that good, but the second was honestly really good. It's where the song, is super popular anyway.
yeah. So there's that. Okay, Noragami.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised you make that choice as well. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's supernatural, so I guess all those are great. Okay, so
Yeah.
my options, I guess this next one is pretty popular. There's so many damn series out year
I
after
will put
year.
if I finish watching, but yeah, it's so. The
Yeah,
first one I've only.
yeah. All right. So next one is actually in no particular order. It's just the Monogatari season, in general. Cause if I'm gonna list one by one, it's gonna be like Bake, Nisei, Kizuna, and everything, and it's just gonna be non-ending. So Monogatari is. I felt like it was like the supernatural show for its time as well. Cause back then there wasn't really a lot of like very interesting supernatural stuff, and the whole like how Bake came in was like I don't think they really like played off on like a lot of actual folklore, so they were in a way quite creative about it as well. And then of course, I think like Hiroshi Kamiya did a very good job of being Araragi as well. Like I really like the main character. It feels like you can put yourself in his shoes and then you make like all the
Yeah.
main jokes, and like, you can feel like yeah bro, like I would have totally done that if I had the opportunity. Like all the all the Sukebe stuff he does now and then lah. Yeah.
But it's hard for people to watch it. I don't know why. I think it's just the animation art style is so too unique.
Because it's Shaft as well, right? So it's back, like
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
appreciate the very arty farty stuff that Shaft usually do, then you're gonna appreciate it.
Yeah.
Uh,
But people who can get past the first few episodes will enjoy the entire easily, I'm
yeah.
sure.
To be very honest, I did lost track after a while. Like there were so many seasons, and then I did take a very long break until like before I finished up and finished the rest at the back. And because there's like so many seasons, right? To be very honest, even like when I play AMQ, I can never like remember all the songs to their seasons. Like I just know I know it's that season, but I'm not sure which particular
Yeah.
number, that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. So yep. I hope Twitch chat's happy. At least Monogatari is being mentioned at the very least. All right. Next one is the one that I've been trying to get you to watch as well, which I mentioned earlier as well. Is Kara no Kyokai.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Kara no Kyokai. Oh, I really loved it because it's like one of the Nasuva stuff as well. Then the whole it's like quite a fresh take away from like the whole Fate Stay Night stuff. But at the same time, there's some relevance cause like some characters are somewhat related to the Fate Stay Night character slash Tsukihime character. Actually, it's more to Tsukihime, not much of Fate Stay Night. Cause Fate Stay Night is
Mm.
very magical side, but Kara no Kyokai is very supernatural. So supernatural is more with Tsukihime, where you have like Seo, Akue. Not sure if you really know them. Of course, you have like the main guy Shiki in Tsukihime, right? And then his sensei was actually Aoko.
Mm-hmm.
So his sensei's like elder sister is actually in Kara no Kyokai. So it's like there's like all those like very long relationship like linking all over, but which is why there's also this series. When it first came out, when I watched the very first movie, I was very impressed because like Ufotable being Ufotable, they just did a very good job at the animation. Kalafina did all the cover songs, and I was a very big fan of Kalafina as well. And of course Kajira Yuki doing the soundtrack. So to me, it was like a package all in one. It was perfect. And then of course Maya Sakamoto being the main girl as well. And I'm also quite a big fan of Maya Sakamoto. Yeah. So the story wise, to be very honest, like if you're watching the movie, it's not in chronological order. So when you watched it, right, if I'm not wrong, it actually kind of like follows I think the novel order, which is also jumbled up. So like once you watch it all, you're also like trying to piece it together, trying to remember the time frame and the chronological order, which they do show you in the show. But it's like when you watch movie after movie, you kind of like forget, right? So this is the show that I actually watched quite a couple of times because like the first time like, I watch it normally as it releases like every half a year or so. But then once it's fully released, then you try and rearrange them in the actual chronological order, and then you watch it to try and make more sense out of it, which is quite cool. Yep. Okay. Then the next one is wow, this is Super Boom also. I'm not sure if you actually know about this, but it's actually XXX Holic.
Yes, it's a very boomer
It's
show.
yeah, it's Holic. This is actually like one of the stuff by Clamp. So if people don't know who Clamp is like the group that did things like Kaketa Sakura, Tsubasa Chronicles, and stuff like that. So Holic was also one of them. It's also pretty nice. The nice thing about this like mystery supernatural is like it's not all like all grim and dark and like super mystery kind of thing. Cause there's also like a lot of like comedy elements in it. Cause the guy is like the guy's quite over the top like. And when you look at this character and the main design of him, right, it kind of reminds you of like, a bit like the Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei kind of like character as well. So he's a bit loud at times. Then he'll always be the serious guy in the joke, like which is quite jarring because he's the loud guy, right? And then his partner is actually the stern cold guy. But it's the stern cold guy that's making the retarded lame jokes, but then this loud guy is the one that's doing the rebuttal, which is like the opposite. Usually, you have the very loud noisy guy that's making the retarded stuff, and then the more serious guy doing the rebuttal. So this is like a reversal of it, which was pretty interesting combination as well. Alright. I think we're almost there. We are left with the last two, which let me see. Unfortunately, Tempest doesn't watch sports anime.
Ironically, I'm a sports person.
It's okay. So I guess I'll just cover the sports part, right? Okay. I'm quite surprised you don't watch sports anime though. Like you can't. You
Actually,
you like your action
because
and
it's
stuff.
too dramatic, I feel. Like, I'm a volleyball player, but I never watch IQ.
Oh man, you should totally watch Haikyuu, man. It's like
But I don't know. It's okay. I would eventually. I definitely.
I don't know, like I play basketball and enjoyed Slam Dunk, for example. Although I don't like
Yeah.
Although I don't like
I-
Kuroko Basket because that's like way too like that's like I don't know, that's like too over the top for me.
yeah.
Alright, so
I
anyway,
will watch IQ. Yeah.
sorry. So since Tempest didn't mention sports anime, I'm gonna hard carry this and mention like a good five of them because six is a bit too much also. Okay, so the very first one that came off to my mind, right, when we talk about sports anime is actually Aishu 21. So Aishu 21 is one of the earlier days of sports anime which involves around rugby. And to be very honest, I had no clue what rugby was back then until I watched like Aishu 21, and it was really nice because they even had like they threw in all the educational stuff about Aishu 21. So that's where I actually got to learn more about rugby and then the rules and things like that. And then I actually had some interest that I actually started watching like the NFL a little bit on like the sports channel every now and then. Like sometimes you're like just channel surfing and then you see a certain sports and then you'll be like, I don't really understand this shit, and then you just skip it. But then after I watched Aishu 21, I was able to like appreciate like the football like in general. So when I watch American football on TV, I kind of get it now. It's like you never played volleyball, you watch Haikyuu, you get it.
Yeah. You.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the characters in Aishu 21 was pretty nice as well. Like your guy is like your standard talented hardworking guy, but even though he's talented, he isn't like the best. There's always like he always like has these like huge rivals that somehow can counter and beat the shit out of him, and then that's where he standard lah sports, they will rely the power of teamwork, and then you know you have your character development. Then they suddenly like have like very zai skills out of nowhere and stuff like that. And nice thing about this sports anime as well is that they throw a lot more comedy element into it. So it's not very like serious heavy. Then you go through training arc and all that boring shit. Okay, so the other sports anime that I'll go into is actually Giant Killing. So this is like one of the very underrated shows also. So Giant Killing is actually a football anime. And it's quite recent. Oh yeah, I keep saying it's quite recent, but I realized like 10 years ago it's not recent anymore. Right, so Giant Killing is really nice because it's football, but it's not like your Captain Tsubasa or like your Inazuma 11 where it's like, you know, like Inazuma 11 is like all the power, the god hand, and then it's like very OP shit. Giant Killing is very rooted. It's like the underdog story because you have this club that used to be good, and then they started to suffer and struggle, and then they start to like go into like relegations, and then that's where they like hired this new coach, and then this new coach starts to do very weird shit to the team, and then everyone's like disagreeing with him because like, hey, this is not how we do things, but this guy is like, you know, let me prove it to you. And then that's where the cool thing happens because you know he does a lot of like controversial stuff, you know, like, you know, sometimes like when you watch football in real life and then you see like certain players just get released out of nowhere and then people get pissed off and mad. So it's something like that as well. So he does like do stuff, you know. So in a way you kind of see a bit more of the backstory because he has to juggle things like budgets and like player moral and stuff. So if you watch like certain like live action movies, which is sports related also, I guess Mighty Ducks is not really a good reference, but maybe something like Moneyball.
Yeah.
If you
I
go
think
and, so if you look at Moneyball, that's also pretty close to that. So it's actually quite nice also. The season's pretty short. It's like 26 episodes only. I guess it was just like an introductory to the series as a whole. And because it's like more seinen related, so it's a bit more like serious. So unlike iShield, there isn't like a lot of like super comedy and stuff inside to make it very lighthearted. Right, the next sports anime, some people will argue that it's not sports, but fuck it, I'm going to put it as sports. And it's called Girls and Panzer. So guys, if you have not watched, so you have not watched Girls and Panzer, please do so. It's fucking good, and and I was saying like it was one of the series that got reflected in Shirobako for the show that didn't manage to, you know, make it in time for their broadcast, and then they had to cancel, and then they revive, and then they still have a very huge following. Yeah, so Girls and Panzer is great. Cause why? Cause I'm when I was in the army, I was actually in armor. So you know, I like
okay, and that's why it's done
cute schoolgirls, tanks, try to shoot the shit out of everyone, and then all the tactical stuff, and then you get to see all the cool tanks as well. Like, and they're actually like they're like not imaginary tanks; they're actually like real life tanks. Of course, like when you first watch the couple episodes, you get a huge culture shock. Cause like, you know, this bunch of girls, they're like schoolgirls, right? And then they're like, hey, we're gonna take out like tankery. They call it tankery, but yeah, there's like it's a very Ojo cultured thing. Like in their world, like girls driving tank is as cultured as girls practicing tea ceremony and flower arrangement. Yeah, so they were into that, right? Then to my shock and horror, like, I think within like the first 2 or 3 episodes, right, they painted their tank pink. Can you imagine seeing your tank in pink color and then it's just driving? Yeah, precisely, right? But then the girls were cute. The tactical aspects were nice, and then the different schools kind of like reflected the different countries as well. Minus the main girls, cause the main girls was, I think they were quite chapalang, like they were quite mixed up to begin with. But the other schools like St. Gloria's, like the British, you have the Germans, you have the Americans, and then even the styles all kind of fit. You know, like you got the superior German technology, and then you have the British that likes to like turtle and play slow and wait till their opponents like fucked up somehow, and then they capitalize on it. Now, of course, you have the Japanese team where they just kind of like, I just close both eyes, I kamikaze, I just dive straight into action, you know, like just Totsugeki and go straight, you know, never really think too much. So it's really a great series. I remember when I went Japan, right, I took the trouble to like go to the town where the anime actually took place, just to like do a pilgrimage there. And till today, until today, right, like they're still promoting Gears and Panzer there. It's like the fun one. It's like the rice bowl for them.
I
So
see.
for the past 8 years, they've been doing it. They've been doing their festivals, and then they just keep linking up with Gears and Panzer. It's like the flagship anime of the town already at that point. Yeah. Speaking of which, they have a new movie. I'm still waiting for it. They actually released a 6-part movie, although only 2 parts came out, so it's gonna take like forever for the rest to be done. Yeah, okay, so that aside, moving along, the next few sports anime that I'm going to mention aren't really sports, like, your soccer, basketball, tennis kind of sports, but it's a bit more, but it's not tank as well. Okay, so the next one that I really want to recommend is actually Ballroom A Yokoso, Welcome to the Ballroom. So this was one of the so-called sports anime that really got my interest into like competitive dancing as well, like the ballroom dancing. So pretty nice. Like you actually get to check out like all the different like the technical stuff about the dance as well, and then the things they have to do. And then this is where I actually like bothered to YouTube and like watch all the competitive dancing bits. Like how the hell are you supposed to judge? Like they have like this bunch of like 20
Mm.
pairs on the floor dancing, and then you're supposed to like pick them and eliminate that. Like what the fuck are you supposed to do to make yourself stand out from the rest, right? Like you can't really do anything bombastic, but at the same time you still need to kind of stand out, which I thought was pretty interesting. Like how the heck are you supposed to do that? Like yeah. So then the character development is not bad. The girl's pretty hot, and yeah, I guess the girl also was pretty hot. That I just continued watching. Sounds pretty nice as well. So if you
I
want
think I've
some,
seen this popular a lot of people recommending also,
yeah,
not
like,
just you.
you won't be surprised if like if you are like one of those guys that go on YouTube, then you follow those channels, or at least watch those channels that do all those like random compilations and stuff. You might
Yeah.
have probably seen it. Yeah. Okay. So the next one, and not really sports as well, but I highly recommend it will be Chihaya Furu. So this is actually Karuta. I guess you can't really call it children card game, but it's still a card game. Yeah. So Chihaya Furu, surprisingly, like it's a drama, right? And there's like some
Mm.
romance and comedy to it, but at the same time, the emphasis on Karuta is actually pretty strong. So it doesn't feel like they are leveraging on Karuta as a mechanic to sell the show, as in to just make it as a prime. It's like you watch Rokubu and they tell you it's about basketball, and you tell them fuck you, cause like it's not even about
Yeah.
basketball at all. It's just cute girls doing retarded stuff, and then they just slap
Correct,
you
correct,
like
correct.
basketball. Yeah, so Chihaya
This
Fu
one they
is
really
yeah,
care about explaining the culture and the
correct,
history.
correct.
Yeah, again.
So Chihaya Fu is not like that, So to me, it's like it's nice because I get to learn the stuff. You gotta check out the poems and whatnot. I mean, if you bother to like check out and do your research, then the character development and like the drive to like try to achieve their goals is pretty nice also. Like even the recent season is like holy shit, like the plot twist is pretty big as well, and they're already approaching to the end game. So you can actually see them slowly level up. Like they start as noobs and then they get better. Then different characters have different motivation of playing. Like the main girl, I guess she just really loved the game after she like met the one of the guys,
Better guy, yeah.
right? And then of course you have the other childhood friend that went along with it. Only I guess lah, you like the girl into it, you just follow, then but eventually he also like started to try hard and got into it. So yeah, that's that. Until today I still don't know how to play Karuta, so yeah, but I like to watch it. Hey, the last one is also quite an underdog show. This is yeah, this is super underdog. Like you probably haven't heard of it before. So it's actually called One Out. So it's actually a baseball show. Yeah. So One Out. When was it? I was gonna say when was it out, but I should say when was it released, so I don't pun it badly. This it was a pretty old show as well. Like I think it was out like late 2008 2009 around there. So to be very honest, like the show's pretty nice. Like for me, it felt like it was like the one of the sports anime for that year. Even though it was super underdog, like you can look at the ranking and popularity, it's probably not going to be as popular as Hibike and whatnot. But the thing that really drew me into this show, right, is like the whole premise. Like okay, so this guy, he's a pitcher, okay, but
Mm.
he's like a compulsive gambler. Like how some certain like athletes they go into that that drought. They gamble a lot, they drink a lot, and all that crap. So
Mm.
he was like he was like kind of compulsive gambler. So he started doing a lot of like like those illegal betting where he go and play like the baseball illegally in exchange for betting money. So like you try
Mm.
and strike out the better. If you manage to strike out the better, he gets to keep the money and stuff like that lah. Right. So
Mm.
in the end, he kind of like got scouted into joining a team. And actually, to be very honest, it's not like he was a very fantastic pitcher. In fact, you know, like when you look at baseball pitchers, right? Usually, one of the things they look at is like their fast balls, right? Like how fast they can actually throw a ball. This guy doesn't even throw like a very fast ball. He throws like a super average like speed ball. But the thing that everyone is still very dumbfounded is by the fact that he can't throw a very good fast ball, but he can still like strike people out, which means he either has like very good mind games or like his technique is very good. Right. Then of course he gets scouted to join into a team. But to be honest, the team kind of suck. And then of course you have the president or like the owner of the club being an ass and not wanting to pay
Mm.
for a lot of for the guy. Right. So he told the guy like, you know, I don't mind you joining my team. You kind of need a job. You know, how about I pay you like peanuts for this? Now of course the guy will be like, then why would I even play for your team, right? So he makes this, and because he knows of this compulsive gambling habits, right? He made a deal to him something like, for every strikeout you make, right, I'm going to give you like a ridiculous amount of money, like maybe value X. But each time you fail and you give up a score, right, you're going to lose like double that amount. So in the end, right, when you are watching the sports anime, right, it doesn't feel like you're watching him trying to play hard for the team anymore. It feels like he's just playing for himself and like for his own personal survival, and it's just down to like it's like just down to the dollars and cents on how he can like just score well enough so that he can siphon more money out of the owner. Because in the end, it was very weird. Cause like the owner is the owner is like his club is doing well because of him, but ironically he has to
Mm.
like pay shit ton of money because of his retarded like deal with the player as well. So it's like it's pretty interesting to watch. It's like one of those shows that is not really all about like team spirit and stuff like that, but it's quite interesting
The
as well.
story, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's more like mind games and psychological than the actual sports, but they use the whole baseball thing as a premise, so you know it kind of fits in there. Cause I can't see how you can use any other sports for it lah. Yeah. Right, so with that I covered all the sports and we're almost done. Just out of like we were just talking about like how we shouldn't skip movies, even though movies aren't really a genre, but we do have certain movies that we like, right? And if you are not go if people are not gonna like check out TV series because you know it's just gonna spend like too much time on it, I guess the other best way is to just recommend a nice movie for them so that they can check out like during the circuit breaker or whatnot. Okay, so let's go with your picks first for the movies and then I'll go through
So
mine.
my movies are quite simple.
Yeah.
The most of them I watched this year.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah. I actually don't watch anime movies much besides your typical Tenki no Makoto Shinkai. So okay, first one anyway is Konosuba movie
Mm-hmm.
because that movie was hell of a funny.
Yeah,
It
actually
was
we did a
so
couple
bloody.
of we did a couple of viewing sessions in our channel as well, so it was pretty fun.
Oh,
Right.
I don't know. It's plain simple. Yeah.
I agree, it's damn funny.
Next one.
Mm-hmm. Let's go on.
Next one is the Sekano movie. We said just now. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was between this and Bunny Girls Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Sekano movie just wow, tugs at your heart.
But that said, if you got a chance to watch the Bunny Girl Senpai movie, please do so also. Cause
Yeah, the
I
movie
think
is
if
really
for
good.
like a
Also.
new viewer to want to go into a series, maybe Bunny Girl is shorter, cause it's like one season and then into the movie, whereas Saikano is like 2 seasons and then the
Continuation.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite long to like binge the thing. Right, next.
And the last one is the most classic of classic anime because it's still really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Totoro. Yeah.
All right.
It's
I'd be very
very
honest.
fuzzy, heartwarming.
I actually never watched like all the Ghibli's movies. So like
Oh really?
yeah, so like House Moving Castle, Totoro, or Ponyo. These are like the shows that I totally never watched at all. But on the
You should
contrary,
try.
I watch more of the
Mhm.
Masaru shows like Wolf Children, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, those kind of shows.
Oh, those kind of
Yeah, so
shows.
those are the
Yeah.
kind of movies that I watch more. I have never really touched the Ghibli movies, so I guess I probably should sometime. But
I think Ghibli movies are more fantasy and more very catered to general public to watch. I guess that's why.
it's very family friendly, targeted to children as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, 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 correct, correct.
Yeah, so Yeah, so for me, it's like while people are watching DB, I'm watching like Tokikake, I'm watching Wolf Children, Summer Wars, that kind of show.
Okay, I
So
mean.
yeah, right. Anyway, those are the three picks, and even though I mentioned the Mamoru shows, but unfortunately, the shows that I'm not gonna recommend are none of those, cause I figured most people might have already checked those out, cause those are pretty mainstream also. If like Ghibli is like number one mainstream, like they are like probably like 1.5 or number two anyway. So I'm not gonna bother to recommend those. Alright, so the next movie I'm gonna recommend here is actually Makia. So people who actually played Shadowverse, yes, Makia has did appear in the game as well. There was a little bit of collaboration. They had the sleeves, and then they were like just giving out rupees and packs and gems and whatnot. Then of course people will be like, "Hey, what's this show about?" And surprisingly, I actually bothered to go and check out the show, and oh my goodness, it was so fantastic. Like, you have not had a chance to watch Makia, I really recommend you watch it, cause it's it's a very heartwarming show, and it's pretty recent as well. Out. If it was in Shadowverse, I guess it was probably out like a year ago or 2 years ago.
3 years ago, 2 years ago.
2 years
Yeah.
ago, yeah, it's like 2 years ago. So the premise is very simple. Um, so it's like a normal civilization, fantasy setting, but there's this bunch of race, right? They are like, like, they're not really humans because they live like damn long. In a way, you guess you can call them like the elf equivalents. Where they can live for like hundreds and thousands of years as well, and they don't really age. So there's this group of people that were like that, and then of course, one day like the royal decides to like kidnap them because I guess they wanted to uh they wanted to have their bloodline have the power of so-called immortality with them. So they wanted to like
Mm.
get one of the girls and then have the prince to marry her, have a offspring, and then the offspring will be like the immortal offspring, and then they can continue the empire for a very long time. So that was something like that. So what happened is like the main girl, hometown get invaded. She somehow got separated. After that, she came across a abandoned baby. Then after that, the rest of the show, right, just to TLDR, is pretty much like a very heartwarming story about this girl who was technically young for her age. She picked up this infant baby. She took care of him
Mm.
until he grew up into an adult. But of course, halfway through, then of course this baby that grew up into an adult also be like, why my mom doesn't age, and she's like forever lolly lah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then of course, then the war carries out. Then she has to solve that thing. Then, after that, of course, the baby eventually grew up, got his own waifu, have kids and everything. Then I guess a very like touching sad part was like towards the end where she had to see the the kid that she raised up to grow up into an old man, and then like he actually died on his deathbed, and then she was like kind of there for him. So like the whole journey through it was quite nice lah. It was heartwarming at the same time. Like towards the end, it was like, yeah. And anyway, the screenwriter for this particular show was also Mario Okada. So Mario Okada is known for doing a lot of this kind of I won't call it heartwarming show lah, right? Because Mario Okada
Mm.
is the same person that did Anohana. She did Anohana, she did Hanosaku Iroha, she did what other shows I can't remember. Like those are the more prominent ones lah. Toradora is by her also, if I'm not wrong.
I
Yeah,
think the song was quite. It's by some popular. The song.
yeah. The song was pretty popular. It's pretty nice as well. Yeah. So enough rambling about that. The other next show, quite a low profile show also. So this is a show called Red Line. So I'm not sure if you actually check this out, but if you have a chance, I highly recommend you to watch Red Line as well. So Red Line, how I got to know it was I actually went to like a friend's place to like party and stuff, and then he was like, "Hey guys, there's this like very interesting movie by Madhouse." So Madhouse was like one of the also bigger companies back then, alongside with
Mm.
Gonzo Bones. So Madhouse was known for doing like pretty good animation and stuff. So like, oh yeah, why not? Let's check out what is this Red Line about. So at first glance, right, at the cover, I see like this this racer kind of thing. So you'd be like, oh, is it like some street racer kind of thing? Then only you realize like, oh, actually, it's set in a pretty like post-apocalyptic world where people are like racing to participate in the red line. So red line is like this very prestigious race. So only like the very highly
Mm.
skilled people like, but the race they're in is pretty much a death race also. So it's like if you like crash and die, you're like pretty much screwed also. So it was like in a very like post-apocalyptic robotic world, and then so like people like the military criminals just took their chance to go into the race. I guess probably like for the fame, prestige, the big money. Some are even just there cause they're crazy and they just like want to have thrill. You know, like some people are just out, they'll seek for the like the death thrill and stuff. So there's always
Mm.
all these things. So the movie's pretty short, I guess. 1 hour 45 minutes kind of long. Yeah, but it was very well animated. Like I was very impressed by it. And like there's this other show that I didn't really list it up, but if you had a chance and you can check it out, it's actually Paprika, and Paprika is the other show that I would also highly recommend. But I didn't list it here because the last show that I'm going to mention is probably one of my favorite movies of all time as well, and it's actually the disappearance of Suzumiya Haruhi. Yeah, so I know a lot of people will be like, hey, Haruhita, why you like Haruhi? Old boomer liking his Haruhi shit, stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, while Haruhi was like the boom for his time, and of course Endless Eight was a disaster. I actually did not watch Endless Eight at all. But I mean, like Haruhi was pretty nice. Like even the novel was great, and then to be honest, like the whole disappearance arc was like my favorite arc as well, cause it's the whole arc where they actually tied up almost everything, man. Like the backstory, the whole John Smith thing, travel back to time, how the fuck did
Mm.
Kyon like appear in two places at a go and stuff like that. So it really tied out a lot of things. And of course, it centered around Yuki Nagato, which was like my favorite character in the Haruhi series. So that pretty much sums up everything for me. Yeah, and and it's also one of the movies that I actually bought. Like, yeah, because when I was doing this list, I'm like, if it's a show that I actually bought,
It should
then
be
it
good. Yeah.
should be good, and I should really probably recommend it because I mean I did spend money to buy it, so it has to be good, right? Yeah. Well, so with that,
Yeah.
that's all our recommendations for all the movies and shows. I'm sure people in Twitch chat have their own disagreements and agreements. I hope that they also will take the time to do check out like the other stuff that were kind of like low profile, right? Like since we took the trouble to actually like dig out all the older stuff instead of mentioning more new stuff. So with that, pretty much we're approaching the end of this podcast. Wow, that's like a freaking long podcast. I really didn't expect it to last like almost three
I didn't know
hours.
so long. So
Yeah, cause
yeah.
like, I was looking through the genres. I'm like, okay, how long can this be, right? Like, it's just going to go through like three each, right? How long can it take? Oh, I forgot all about the rambling, but I guess this sets as a good benchmark now. Now we know that how long it's going to take, and I'll probably have to keep it shorter next
Yeah.
time, right? Maybe have to just go one each, but this is such a controversial topic. Like, I know if we go one each, right, people are just gonna be pissed mad and they'll be like, "Hey, you got shit taste. You only like pick this one show. What about the rest of the
Yeah,
show?"
yeah,
You know
yeah, I
that
get
kind of
it.
thing. So it's like yeah, whatever. I guess it's the first
Imagine
one.
if you did like a best waifu. Oh my god, you
Oh
can.
yeah, man. Right. Yeah. So anyway, with that, we can kind of like close it out. So maybe Tempest, you have anything that you want to like mention or share, shout outs, things like that.
Nothing much, I guess. Just everyone stay safe, stay home. I don't know.
Your
Yeah.
Twitter, things like that. Maybe.
Yeah, you can just follow my Twitter at tempest_sv. Come join Manas's Discord and join Dawnbreaker's Discord for
Mm-mm.
all our bullshit.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I'll probably throw those links like down in the description when we upload it on YouTube as well. Yeah, and other than that, if you have any other comments like things that you would like us to cover, you can always feel free to tweet me on my Twitter or just drop me a DM on Discord as well. Of course, dropping a comment in YouTube would be great as well. If you have any other recommendations, do drop it as to us, cause we are kind of stuck at home during this circuit breaker anyway, and I could use the time to just catch up on certain
Yep.
old backlogs. Like I mean, I've looked through my anime list and I'm like, okay, I've been watching a lot of anime. I've already spent like exactly like 365 days on anime. So you actually like divide that out. That's how much time I already spent. I already spent 1 year of my lifetime watching nothing but anime. So, but there's still so many things that I haven't covered, and it would be great if you think that I've missed out certain things and you really highly recommended it, then that would be nice to share as well. Right. Other than that, can just follow yeah, follow Tempest on his Twitter as well. Follow Dawnbreakers. Join the
I
Discord.
always post my waifus.
Yes. Yep. Of course, for me, you can follow me on Twitter as well. You can always look for me out in the message Discord. Other than that, yes, do stay home, stay safe, and hopefully this whole circuit breaker thing will be over, or rather, the whole pandemic will be over soon enough so that we can back on our normal lives as well. Okay, with that, good call a closer. Anything else for you, Tempest? If not, we're just gonna say goodbye.
Nope, that's
Okay.
all. Bye,
Okay.
guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.